three people with a mic that talk about all the weird things they like, making all the topics up as they go, kind of just going on with the flow. So welcome to the show. Sit down in your chair and just go press play. Coming to your screen now without delay. Listen to the rant any time of day.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. They could hear us now.
Oh my.
Hello.
Nobody told me ahead of time.
I am so sorry for the technical difficulty. OBS was just being trash. But yes,
I figured
hello,
why not be a
everyone.
problem on the last show of the year?
Exactly. So, we're just getting started. For some reason, Max is tiny, so I need to fix that. Let's make you a little bit bigger. There we go.
The thing that keeps happening.
You keep getting smaller. There we go.
Or it's a matter of perspective. This is just a very, very long table. Like it looks like a roundish circular table, but it's actually super duper long, and I was just sitting at the far end of it. Now somebody with a better spatial understanding explain to me how this table actually needs to look to appear slightly curved but actually be super deep. But I dare to say that's the official look of our new table.
See, Max, I find this believable because if there was a very long table like that, you would sit on the end of it. So
I would. I like endings of tables.
You like to be the king of the castle with that kind of stuff, being on the end. But yes, everyone, hello, welcome. Letting people come in for a bit.
Hello.
I'm sick. Caught con crud at Cider Fest. It's not COVID. I took a test. To my knowledge. I am negative with that. I'm just positive with sick, which is always cool. But yes, hello everyone. Welcome to Three Idiots, where three idiots do things. And welcome to the last show of the year! Last show of 2023! You may be wondering, why is it not in December? Why
is it not in December?
Because I will be seeing this blue-haired guy's face on the second weekend, and I don't feel like setting up all this stuff over at his house. So this is the last show of the year.
Oh no.
Yes.
Well, we should better make it count.
So you guys can take comfort that at least two of the three idiots will be together on Three Idiots Day, as it is a holiday every month. A monthly holiday, if you will.
Yeah.
So, given that I was sick, I told these two in the Three Idiots council room, as I call it, guys, we need to do something low effort. So,
yeah,
we decided to do a tier list because there's nothing more low effort than a tier list, except for the fact that when we did a tier list, it lasted 4 hours.
Yeah.
This time we're gonna make sure it doesn't do that.
and for some reason, by miracle of faith, that responsibility of finding that tier list laid upon Max's shoulders, who suggested quite a few, including a Tumblr sexy man list that was like 130 entries, which immediately got denied.
Including some women for some reason, because if you hear Tumblr hear Tumblr sexy man, the first thing you think is woman.
Totally.
But then again, being completely gender ambivalent is a very Tumblr thing, so I guess it's kind of on brand after all.
Tumblr sexy person.
TSP. I realized something here. In this list, I'm going to have to clarify, because I know people are going to bring it up. As if you couldn't tell already, this is a tier list for 2000s movies. The Fantasia cover that is in here is for the first Fantasia but it's in reference to the second one, Fantasia 2000.
I didn't make this. I didn't make this tier list.
I know, and that's what I'm saying. I'm like, I want to clarify to anybody who's going to go, well, that's the original. Well, I know, we're aware. This is for the...
Yeah.
This is for 2000, but whoever put this together did not do that. So, it's for 2000.
Go to... Wait, does it actually say who authored it?
I don't know.
To youtube.com for images. This is great. I guess Super Cool.
Netro, come on. Just because I work at DreamWorks, you think I'm going to have a DreamWorks bias? No, I can. You know what? I can actually put a bias aside. I can actually look at. I went to film school. I had to look at things objectively.
I went to kindergarten.
And it's not called a bias when you get paid for it. It's called a job.
Yeah, but yes, strap in your semi-transparent technology and Windows screensavers because we are doing films from the 2000s. And I feel like the first thing that's going to happen is, I'm predicting here, I'm using my psychic powers, I'm going to predict that Max is going to say, we need to change some of these tier list names.
This was one of the 2 points two questions I wanted to bring up before we get started. So yes, your psychic powers have proven accurate. Everybody in the chat, let's start a religion surrounding Key as our Lord and Savior. Or Lady and Savior,
no,
whatever.
Absolutely not. Do not have the mentally ill person be the Lord and Savior. Just gonna tell everyone to go on meds. Actually,
I've seen worse religions.
My religion revolves around people going to therapy.
But
actually, that sounds like a good religion. I am your Lord now.
Actually, everyone, go stop it. Get some help.
But yeah. First things first, may I suggest that we add an additional tier at the very bottom in the color of blue with nobody saw it.
I feel like this is going to be a row that's meant for you.
Probably because
I've seen.
Okay, maybe we don't need it. Maybe we don't need it if at least one has seen it.
I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna, just in case there has to be one that. I think there's one I haven't seen. So
okay.
Ooh.
I mean, we can always just change it to the tier of Max haven't seen. Haven't seen, and we'll make it blue.
Make it pink. Make it blue. Make
this
it
one gets shouldn't exist. Will be pink.
Oh yeah, that shouldn't exist. That's true.
There we go. Now, what about the rest of these? We got S tier, we got A, B, C, and D. So basic.
I mean, maybe question first, how do we rank them? Just overall a good experience?
Oh, see, that's the thing with movies, isn't it? Because a movie doesn't have to be good to be entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
Because Lord knows, there are some movies on here that I think are hilarious. But they're not objectively, good.
Okay, then suggestion.
Okay.
Just suggestion, throwing it out there. Don't type right away. So top to bottom. Game changer.
Mm-hmm.
Must watch.
Mm-hmm.
Great entertainment.
Mm-hmm. So a B is great entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
Very fitting for the movie I may put in there. C.
C is mid. Every tier list nowadays needs to have
that I agree with. C can be mid.
And D is meh. So we have mid, we have meh, and we have shouldn't exist.
Charlie has suggested a shitpost tier, and see, I think Charlie, I think that goes into entertaining though, because it's better to be an entertaining, not great movie than a mid boring movie.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Nothing is, I've gone into movies in a theater. I think it's worse when you go into a theater because you're like, I paid for this experience, and to leave unsatisfied, it's like going, it's such a letdown. It is such a letdown.
2017 or 2019 or 2018, 2019 or whenever I went to the cinema on a nearly weekly basis and watched a lot of movies that, yeah, I came out and was like, well...
Alright, so I made my own little adjustments to your suggestions. So I put as S tier Millennium films, because this was the Millennia generation. Oh, I heard Donatello. Hold on. Thank you, singing guy, for $5 saying hi.
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 Oh, whoa.
Okay, everyone said hi to you. Our end of the deal was done. Then we got great watch for A tier. Then we got haha funny for B tier. Meh, shouldn't exist, and then haven't seen.
Yeah.
Okay, the only one I need a little bit like Millennium films just meets like definer of this area.
They are the film of the millennia, because this is the 2000s was the new millennia.
I get it. I'm just trying to understand the I mean, obviously top tier, quite literally, because it's on the top of the tier list. But
yes. And I also need to move you guys a little bit so we can see the full list. So
whoa, or at the very least, exactly the opener of the list. And yeah, then the second question, which is vaguely related to this new column we added at the bottom.
Okay.
Oh, now I have hair in my face. Great. Well, I had a minute ago.
Yeah, don't worry.
What's happening on screen with a delay?
No one's gonna have hair in their face this episode.
Yeah. What if I want to? Anyway, so the second question.
I mean, if you want to, hold on. Me and Lauren can get nice and snuggly with you.
Yeah, I was more thinking about breathing through a ferret or something.
There we go. We're nice and snuggly with you, Max. Isn't this great?
No, because I don't see it just yet. All of this happening is with so much delay.
I'm sorry. I wanted to share the full screen with you guys and not the tiny OBS screen. So sorry.
Apparently.
You'll see.
Anyways, I will at some point. But yeah, the second most important question. Are we today going to be honest, or are we liars?
I mean, we can
I'm
be
going to be
liars.
100% honest.
We can be liars till the end. That's up to you.
No, because there are like about when I scanned over it, like 8 movies, which I believe I haven't seen, plus a handful of additional movies I recall having seen but have very fuzzy memories of.
To answer your question in the chat, there are no anime films in this list. Yeah, we would be here for several hours more if that was the case.
Yeah, I mean, there was quite a few Ghibli movies in the 2000s, so no Princess Mononoke on here.
Well, Mononoke was not 2000s. I mean, the dub may have been, but that was a 90s film.
I only know the dubs. So I mean, that's what it got to.
Like Spirited Away onwards was the 2000s era.
Point being, they are not on here. This is all American and vaguely UK. So we got those on the list. But yeah, 8 max? 8?
Yeah, I believe
I'm looking at these. They are a lot of major releases, so I'm surprised you haven't seen 8. You haven't seen 8 of them.
I guess let's end this year with being our honest and best selves, and I will come clean if I haven't seen something when we hear it.
I have a feeling one of them is the first one on this list.
I can say I have seen every single one of them.
I guess we can delete the blue column again, or blue row.
Okay, well, goodbye, blue row. There we go. I haven't seen one of them, and we will see. So, to start out the 2000s strong, this isn't chronological of when they were released in the 2000s, but Open Season from Sony Animation. Oh, how they started.
Yep, that's their baby. The one that started it all.
I really don't like the Open Season movies. So,
here we are already in the territory of very vague and fuzzy memories, because I'm pretty sure I have seen the first one once.
Yeah.
I found it funny enough.
The only contribution to society that the open season movies gave is that one like Among Us gif of like
I was about to say
with the giant
was based
ass
on boob
shaking.
twerking. So
Yes, it's rotoscoped from the bear in open season, which I don't know if that increases its chance of being higher than meh, in my opinion. But the thing is, it's just
this is also full of furry bait.
No, it's not. These characters are ugly as sin.
As somebody who has been on many furry paid image sharing and whatnot, I have never seen any of the open season characters.
Like, I know people are thinking of the female deer and how the female deer is kind of cute, but like, she's still too feral in my opinion to even be furry bait. I don't want to meet the people who said that she was their furry awakening, as much as I don't want to meet the people who think the fucking Ashton Kutcher deer was their furry awakening.
He's a skrunkly.
Don't skrunkly him. Don't skrunkly Ashton Kutcher, Lauren. Oh,
well, you look at his skinny little like twiggy deer face. It's like he looks like. Does he not look like a shrimp?
I don't think about the body types of open season characters, Lauren.
I'm just looking at it from a character design standpoint. He is skrunkly.
Okay. That aside, this movie was boring. I have seen this movie multiple times because it was on Cartoon Network so much, and I can tell you with utmost honesty and certainty, I remember only 3 things from this film. The Among Us part, the part with the ducks that have PTSD of Vietnam, and
actually, I think it was even technically World War II because the ducks were French.
Oh, okay, fine. That shows even
which makes
more.
It even funnier. Like, how old are these freaking ducks?
And 3, me sitting there and being like, man, I want to watch Brother Bear. So those are
we know King Tier is Brother Bear.
Like,
I remember this one scene. I hope it actually is from this movie, so please correct me if not. That there is a hunter, and he's getting all paranoid about animals taking over, and then he stumbles through a bush and sees those campers with their who are worshipping their dachshund, and he's like, "Oh my God, animal worship! It has started!" And he takes this as a sign that he needs to fight back.
I mean,
is this that movie?
Yes, this is that movie. I remember what you're talking, because this was also the film that cinched the fact for me that if you own a dachshund, you don't own the dachshund. Dachshund owns you.
Owns you.
Look, every wiener dog owner that I know spoils the hell out of their wiener dogs. I don't know what it is about that breed that just influences people to treat them like actual human infants. But that does happen. I know because Golden's parents own a 15-year-old dachshund named Charlotte, and she is treated like a baby. So...
Yep.
I mean, once your dog reaches past 10, you treat them like babies either way. But like that, but that's besides the point. I'm just gonna.
Yes, Odie. This is the movie with a hick hunter as the bad guy.
Yes, I don't think the movie's like bad. Meh. It was entertaining enough to probably me. I mean, I saw it. I kept the TV on multiple times. But as an adult, I just think it's mid. It's a passable movie.
I'd say it's mid too. Like, there's actually quite a bit I remember of it, and there were some jokes I still like. If you take them out of context, they are funny. Like, some of the jokes were, I think it was when Boog and Elliot, the bear and the deer, comparing how stupid each of them are. Like, to say, like, I'm so clueless, like, and then it reaches a point when Elliot goes, I killed a man, and there's just this dead silence, and they start laughing. Like,
I do not remember that. My God. Okay.
Like, there's some jokes that I go, like, again, it's like, it was funny when you have them out of context, but again, it's like the movie itself overall, it was a starting point for Sony Animation. I mean, it stumbled along so that we could get Surf's Up down the line. So
are you saying that open season walked?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, for a movie in 2006 with CG animation, not awful. So, I mean...
Yeah. Now, here's the thing. Does it go down a level because this movie started a franchise of, like, really progressively? Because isn't there, like, 4 open season sequels, and one of them is that they go to the circus or something? Like...
I think you're getting that mixed up with Madagascar, where they go to a circus.
No, deadass, there's an open season where they go to the circus, and the bear falls in love with a circus bear.
Open season walked so that Madagascar...
I think we can.
The thing is, Madagascar preceded open season by 1 year.
Okay, after over 5 minutes of discussion for the first entry, which was just a mid-movie, we are in it for about 4 hours of this.
Okay.
You know what? We just had to shake off the rust.
We had to shake off the rust. Okay. Now here's one that I think at least we're getting to a positive. Atlantis: The Lost Empire, one of my favorite Disney movies of all time.
Not just because ending up in the top of the list or something.
Not just because everyone is hot in that movie, with the exception of the mole character. But I'm pretty sure some people. I don't know.
I'm sure somebody likes
I'm sure some stinky loving person likes the mole character. But I love Atlantis. It looks great. Me too. It's funny as fuck. I can quote so many lines from Vinny. Don't do anything except breathe and pray. I just think it's a great movie. The chemistry of the characters are all great. The biggest complaint I have with the movie is it left me wanting more. And then we got the sequel movie. Which was supposed to be the launching point for a TV show that ended up not succeeding. Which I'm mad about. The TV show would have been great. Yeah, but unfortunately, Disney saw that the movie itself did not do commercially well first time around, so they're like, well, we're already making these, so these episodes that we'll just, it was the era of, let's take these things that were originally supposed to be a TV show, package them up, and call them a movie. Yeah. So that's why it's like 3 disjointed stories in one. I think it's one of the best animated movies of the 2000s, so that's my bias. What do you think, Max? Or is this one of the 8 you haven't seen?
No, I have seen Atlantis. I mean, I believe, didn't you make me watch it?
No, I made you watch Treasure Planet, and then we watched that great Treasure Island show that you grew up with.
Then maybe I just watched Atlantis after you constantly fangirling over it. Yeah, no, it's a good movie.
Is it top tier good to you, or?
I believe I've only seen it once, so.
Well, I guess that just leaves it to me and Lauren. Lauren, do we put it up? Do we already have a Millennium film? Because that's where I want to put it.
I would put it there. I mean, it's a truly, like, when you were there and you had to see it on a big screen, it makes it even better because the scale of the story is so high energy adventure, with also just the scale of the environments in the world that with Atlantis itself, and especially an excellent use of CGI blended in with the 2D. Like one of
the most brutal Disney deaths.
Oh god, it's one I think a lot about, and not in the good way, because it's like,
now that's a tier list we should do. Disney deaths.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
That would be.
I didn't even think of that.
Maybe because we didn't want the last episode of the year to be about death.
Yeah. But yeah, I think yeah, and plus, like you said, like the one issue to have with it is that you want more. You want more time with the characters, especially with the ensemble, because the little moment around the campfire when they're all talking about their life stories, you realize how much potential all of them have to be in a continuation of the story. And I'm like, dang, we didn't get that. Well, I mean, we sort of did with the sequel ish, but only ish. And but I guess that's, if that's the one complaint I gotta have about it, then that's the one complaint, because dang it, I do love this movie.
I mean, like, also one of the best Disney relationships. Kita and Milo are so fucking cute.
Yep.
The only
You
couple
can
that
swim,
would be
can
better
you? I can
is
swim, pretty
Milo
girl. Pretty
and me.
good.
I
Pretty
want
good.
him.
I can swim.
Yes. Kita's also a BAMF. I mean, she is one of the most gorgeous girls that Disney has ever designed. Not girl, woman. She is one of the most gorgeous Disney women. Like, come on now. Come on now.
Mm-hmm. She's voiced by Cree Summer. I
know,
think you can get any better than that.
Yeah, she is. Mwah, 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 mwah. And her father is Leonard Nimoy, so there's good genes in there.
Yep.
But anyways, back to the echelon of quality.
Now, hear me out.
Okay, is it just Barnyard or is it Back at the Barnyard? Because I know there was
No, it's Barnyard the movie, which came out in, like, what,
Barnyard,
2004?
Okay.
Yeah.
I hate this movie.
You hate it?
I like the show, funny enough, because it's just good out of context clips. Mostly because people like to use the meme of "Hello, viewer mail time again," and the scene with Weird Al being like, all famous people have security in their room. But like,
it did launch a funny TV show. I'm not gonna lie.
No, the funniest thing about the Barnyard TV show was how it got canceled.
And then you had the voice actors, once they knew that they were going to be canceled, they still had to finish up episodes, but they were like, we can do whatever the hell we want in character. Like Chris Hardwick, I remember.
Yeah, they were recording the song for like a Christmas special. They were just cursing up a storm, and the producer came in, and they were just like, what are you going to do? Cancel us some more? Which is the best response to anything ever. But I hate this movie. I don't like how it looks. I remember looking at the trailers for this movie. It's like, that's called boy tipping. And I felt so uncomfy. I never thought that as a kid I would find something so gross looking.
I'm like, aesthetic. From the aesthetic, I mean, obviously, it is not my favorite in terms of. It's also very confusing to have, like, literally both the male and female cows have udders.
Well, Otis is a trans icon, according to.
But I mean, even his dad had udders, so that's when you go.
Trans
are
icon.
They all just? So everybody is just either there's a cow or they are.
In this universe, you apparently just have both bits, or those, or you just have multiple penises that we've seen on screen the entire time.
Like.
Look, anyway, I'm just saying it's very easy to just say that they had, like, quad dicks and they
we got Mr. Bombastic, gummy fantastic.
I don't care about MC Cheese, Lauren. This movie's bad.
Biggie Cheese, excuse me. He is an artist.
Oh my god. Look, I don't want to remember.
Look, I remember far too much about this movie.
I don't want to remember when Biggie Cheese had the war with, like, Tupac Cheddar or whatever you want to say. But fucking, this movie's bad. This movie's bad. It's not funny. It's so, like, painfully dull. The paranoid farmer's wife who lived next door, who was like, there is something fishy going on next door, and her husband who just does not give a fuck and just sits there with a beer. Look, I don't care the moments you point out. This movie sucks. I just. Half the movie is just them doing hijinks, and the movie only starts moving like 35 minutes in when the dad dies. That shouldn't be. That's not good pacing, Lauren.
Look, it's terrible, but don't you? But aren't there moments you have fun? Didn't we agree
that
there are going to be movies?
One screenshot of Biggie Cheese does not a good movie make.
I never said that was the only part.
And
there was a lot
Max,
I remember out of
this movie.
I have never seen this movie.
I'm glad you didn't. You saved 90 minutes of your life. Okay, Odie, I don't need you guys to say that I'm a hater. This is what I'm gonna get the hate for, is me not liking Barnyard the movie.
Wild Mike.
Okay, you know what, Lauren, for you, I will put this in meh instead of shouldn't exist.
Yeah.
But I am not putting it in haha funny. It's not an entertaining movie. On your own personal list, you could put it in haha funny.
Yeah, we're going off of democratic rules. So.
Don't you? God, there are so many more Gen Zers in this chat that have fonder memories of Barnyard than I do.
I'm not even a Gen Zer. I thought was freaking funny.
It was okay. Maxino, got it. Okay. Point being, meh. It's a Moon-Man movie. Okay?
Oh, do we need to rename the tier to Moo instead of Meh?
No, because there's probably going to be other movies in there, Max.
Are there? Maybe
Stop writing Wild Mike in the chat. Oh, God, I hate you all.
Love you too.
I will cough on you. Okay. Anyways. So, back to quality. God, the 2000s is not doing a great case for it so far. So, if I remember from the bracket list, Max has not seen any of the Cars movies.
That is correct, and I haven't changed anything about it.
When are we going to get to the movies Max has seen, is the question, because right now he's just sitting here silently.
Has he? Wait, you haven't seen Cars?
No, I still
remember
haven't.
On the Pixar bracket list, he did not see any Cars movie.
And I successfully bullshitted my way through it.
Okay, Lauren, I'm gonna defend Max for a second here. Don't get used to it, Max. In what point of the year, day, or any time would someone willingly sit down and be like, you know what? I want to watch Cars.
Well, to be fair,
the
first one and the third one are the ones that anybody would bother to go back and watch.
Thank God Cars 2... Wait. Yeah, thank God Cars 2 came out in the 2010s.
It was a 2011 release, so it missed it by that much.
Just my bit. Anyway, Cars feels like juvenile jingle keys entertainment to me. Oh, okay.
Ka-chow.
Okay, look. Cars is not a great movie. It's not in the echelon of Pixar movies. It's no Finding Nemo or Monsters, Inc. or anything.
It does, however, have one of the best themed areas based off of a Pixar film at a park.
That and there's a lot of funny moments in the movie. Like, with Rusty's, you could look like me. Ka-chow. I'm just saying, this movie brought us ka-chow. Do you know how many memes have ka-chow in it? A lot.
Ka-chow.
On the other hand, this movie gave us Mater. He was tolerable in this movie, but that brought Cars
at least this is the first one. The first one, where he was tolerable.
Yeah, the saving grace is that this is the first one. I mean, it also has the best version of Life is a Highway, and people can fight me on that. The Rascal Flatts version is great.
Freaking love Rascal Flatts.
I think this movie's cute. It's a cute movie. Like, it's not reinventing the wheel.
Would you argue that it's, like, mid? Because I wouldn't consider it a meh by any means.
I don't think it's
It has far more good stuff that comes out of it.
I think it's a ha-ha funny,
Ha-ha funny? Oh!
Look, for the sheer fact of, I think it was the first time that we heard, wait, did Ratatouille come out before Cars or after Cars?
After Cars, 1 year after.
Yes, this was the first film that said hell in a Pixar movie.
You know what? Yeah.
Because it was like, help, I'm stuck in hillbilly hell! But, like, the hillbilly hell segment is really fucking funny. And so, I think it goes in ha-ha funny. It's entertaining.
I agree. I
mean, without even having seen the movie, I heard that a lot of people were like, Cars actually not that bad. Yeah, Cars 2 is
sin.
One of Pixar's worst.
Yeah.
It also has a superior version of cow tipping.
What, tractor tipping?
Yeah.
Hey, look, if it wasn't for Cars, we wouldn't have Cars Racers at Disney California Adventure, which is objectively one of the best rides at California
Yes, Radiator
Adventure.
Springs Racers is one of the best Disney rides.
You know, when you can get a fast pass for it, you're not sitting in line for an hour. Which, most of the times, we go there, like, first thing in the morning. But yeah, haha.
Yeah, continue, Max. Sorry, I realized you were in the middle of a thought. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I just, like... Also, yeah, I heard good things about it, so I'm, even without having seen it, I'm in favor of having it above mid.
What are you eating?
Who says I'm eating something?
I heard the noise of someone who had something in their mouth.
Well, it might be good old Tony's chocolate.
Well, there you go.
Like we had a moment of like asking. It's like asking
Kermit, what's in your mouth? What do you have? It's just what do you have in your mouth? Okay. Ravenously eats it so they don't have to spit it out.
Yeah, they eat it faster. Like no.
Okay. Oh no. Okay, so it's gonna be hard to argue this next movie with Lauren. So
we already had her give up on it in the battle bracket.
I already know where I'm ranking it. There's no question.
Spirit, Stallion of the Cinnamon.
I think it's pretty meh.
What?
Oh, okay. Well, argue with Lauren. I need to take a vocal break.
Okay, maybe we can negotiate up to mid.
Just because you don't... What, do you not like horse movies?
I mean, I don't inherently care about them, which is why I never watched Spirit.
Oh, so now so you come in going, it's mid. I haven't seen it, but it's mid.
Exactly.
I mean, if it wasn't mid, maybe Max would take the effort to go see it.
Exactly, huh? Ever thought about that angle?
How can you argue it's mid if you haven't even seen it, though? How can you argue that?
If it would be better, I would have seen it.
It was a widely celebrated film when it came out. And to this day, it's considered one of the best horse movies.
What year did it come out?
2002.
I mean, Max could have been watching another great hit from 2002. Like, films from 2002.
Like, Treasure Planet was probably what came out later that year.
Like
but
the
Spirit
first
came out
Sam
before that.
Raimi Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's what I have seen more than once.
Or Rob Schneider's Hot Chick.
I definitely have not seen that one, so it's also
You're not
mid.
missing much.
See? It proves my point. I haven't seen it, it's mid.
Or what else came out in 2002? Or Adam Sandler's 8 Crazy... God, 2002 sucked.
Wait, wasn't... Oh, no, was that 2001 or 2002 when the first Scooby-Doo movie came out?
2002 is when the first Scooby-Doo movie came out.
So there you go.
Look, that's the only... First of all, Scooby-Doo 2 is better. Second of all, that's not the movies we're talking about today, okay?
See, and here I am saying, like, look, out of all of the movies that were named right there, only one other one was animated, and that was Treasure Planet. So, let me just say...
I said 8 Crazy Nights. That's an animated film.
Oh, 8 Crazy Nights. I thought that was 2003.
8 Crazy Nights isn't on this list. It's an animated film.
I guess
they counted family movies, because that film's not a family movie. The deer shit-eating movie is not a family movie.
Yeah, the fact that it's deer eating shit. I don't think we...
Yeah,
and it's a shame because the animation itself is actually really gorgeous.
Well, yeah, because
which makes me feel really bad.
Don't worry, Lauren. People who worked on that film eventually went to work on Princess and the Frog, which made tons of money.
Yeah.
Anyways, so okay, say your case for Spirit.
So Spirit, I personally think, considering out of how many horse movies that you could get, where they could all sound like the same thing. This one was one of those instances where the story was told from the perspective of the horse without the animals having to talk. Alright? It was like internal monologue, but the animals still acted like animals. And I think that's something, it was a nice balance of the features where we have to have a story, but we're telling it from the horse's perspective, but we don't want to make this like a Disney movie where the animals all talk. So let's have it do it. And let's have James Baxter come in, the master animator that he is, and make the horse look freaking awesome. And and so and then on top of that, you have some of the most
it's just a placeholder, Lauren. It's just a placeholder.
As you make a case, it might slightly go up.
Yeah, keep talking.
Make that point, and it keeps going down again.
It's got a score by Hans Zimmer, which makes it one of the greatest Western soundtracks you could ever have. And whether or not you like Bryan Adams or not, I know I've heard he's kind of no! You get that back higher up on the list.
You should have mentioned Bryan Adams.
Well, I'm like, look, you still remembered the songs that came out of that movie.
Totally.
Well, I do anyway. So anyway, I'm the one arguing the case. Well, because guess what? The other side is like, I haven't seen this, so you know what? They have no argument. So I'm like, you have one of the best, truly one of the best dramatic animated, films that you coming out of DreamWorks besides Prince of Egypt. That's my personal opinion. And this was second to last 2D animated film coming out.
I was about to say, the last one is also on this list.
Look, there's people that were like, that worked on Sinbad saying, like, it wasn't good. And I'm like, well, I liked it. But so, you know what? To each their own. But anyway, I think it's one of the...
Yeah.
I think it's one of their strongest films out of the early era, so...
Yeah,
but that's me.
Jokes aside, I agree with you. I love Spirit. I think it's a great movie. I am only putting it in Great Watch, not Millennium Films, because I do not like the executive meddling of adding the internal monologues, because that was not the original thing the film was going to do.
I know, but you take what you get at the end product.
They kind of thief and the cobblered it by putting internal monologues over the
Look,
horses.
they didn't add shit songs to it this time. They didn't make it like a shit musical. Bryan Adams was part of the game plan anyway.
You mentioned Bryan Adams again. I'm so sorry. No.
Stop it.
Okay. But I will put it at Great Watch. It would be Millennium Films if it could have been what it was supposed to be.
I still think it's a fantastic film, but you know what? Fine, I'll take Great Watch.
You know what?
Fine.
It gets to go in Millennium. Because obviously that film affected you so much that you put up with all of our nonsense this entire 10 minutes. So it must be that good. Are you happy?
That would have been a great rule after the fact. That each of us is allowed to only pick one millennial film.
Oh my god, no, that would have been awful. You know how much I would have argued for B-movie to go into Millennium Film if I knew that? I would bullshit so much. Anyways, speaking of
now
quality
I feel bad. Why
films...
just put it in Great Film, in Great Watch? Because now I'm just making it sound like somebody's like dictating everything. I can't do that.
No. I think Spirit actually has a lot of good to it that it does go in Millennium Film. So
great, we finally reached a movie I've watched again.
So great story about Shark Tale. I watched it with Max when it was on Netflix when I was visiting him one time, and the film was so bad that he was like, let's go to the Lidl or the Aldi that was nearby to go shopping because I need a break. The movie was so bad he needed a break from it, which I always find so hilarious. But yes, Shark Tale from DreamWorks. The film that was produced at the same time as Shrek 2, and you would not know it. Hey, Lauren, you work for DreamWorks. What's your opinion on this movie?
Well, I'm like, this is where I argue. Actually, it's funny when you look at like that film and B-movie in terms of the level of like memery that has come out of this era of like these two in particular, especially like. Again, it's the fact that when you make the faces look almost too human, like too much like they're voice actors, I guess that's what it is. And you try to turn them into fish. And and you just go, yeah, no, But you know what? Some of the jokes are funny. The story I do not like. Especially with Oscar, he is not a likable protagonist. I'm sorry. He is,
We watched the Shrek for Liz video too, we know.
It had funny Martin Scorsese.
I mean,
the only time he's ever been in a voice role too.
And the first and last.
And I'm going to see, yes, in the chat, Jack Black couldn't even save this. Yes, unfortunately, this is one of those times that I'm like, not even he could have saved this.
However, it was because of Shark Tale DreamWorks brought Angelina Jolie and Jack Black in for Kung Fu Panda. So whether we like it or
right.
not,
This was the first,
Shark Tale swam so Kung Fu Panda could
That's
hi-ya.
right. This was the first time they worked together. Oh god.
They were so impressed by their vocal performance in Shark Tale, they were like, hey, we got this Kung Fu movie that we want you guys to be in. And Jack Black was, played a guitar solo and was like, yeah, cool.
Yeah, the thing is that I think because they had a much closer relationship working on Panda, that's when they actually started a friendship, because I don't think they were really that connected in Shark Tale, because knowing how the process goes is that people have to, unless there's like special cases, people come in on different recording days to record audio. Which means, you have a set time for Jack Black, a set time for Angelina Jolie.
No,
a set
you know
time
what?
For Renee
you know
Zellweger.
what, Lauren? I don't want to believe you. I want to believe that Angelina Jolie and Jack Black were the bestest of friends over the course of Shark Tale. That they had their own little high five that they did. They had names for each other. They were "Hey, Jackie boy," and Angie.
But they
I can at
even
least say
share a scene.
That you know what? Maybe that dignifies the
maybe
friendship.
that helped. Yeah, maybe that helped.
I will still argue that it has funny moments in it. There are some good visual gags that were in there, but I would argue that there is not a whole lot I can say that redeems it. Especially because, again, the story it's a liar reveal, which I know there's so many people that could say I hate liar reveals. I'm like, yes, I hate them too, but I'm like, unless you twist the formula a bit and do it well. But otherwise, especially when your protagonist is not likable, that you're you already have you just get more mad at him. So,
yeah, I would argue Lightning McQueen is a more likable protagonist than Will Smith Fish, but I would argue if Haha Funny has cars in it because of the funny moments, Shark Tale has a lot of those. I mean, people in the chat have been quoting the fucking, then there's whale poop, and then there's you. That's messed up. Any moment said by Martin Scorsese Fish is objectively funny.
Yeah.
Who's your daddy? Who's your fish daddy?
Maybe we made a mistake by naming it Haha Funny.
but
I mean,
you know what? I will.
Here's the thing. I think that it's an entertaining movie in the way that people like watching true crime documentaries, or
And now we know why you like it, and
or dash cam Russian car crash footage. It's so bad you can't look away. But there's a set.
I will relent and say it should go into Haha Funny, if not for some of those, again, where it's not a good film. However, it does have moments that I go, okay, you know what? It's bad. It's. Will you still stick around for those funny moments and the interactions and? Yeah,
I literally went to a store. Not that I remember this anecdote until Key told it a few minutes ago, but I went to the store. I did not stick around.
I mean, okay, this is the first film Max actually has seen. It has at least memories of. So, what is your argument for not having it in Haha Funny?
I don't recall laughing.
That's a great argument for not being in Haha Funny.
I mean, it's already kind of problematic that we named it Haha Funny, because now anything funny, independent of quality, can make it up there.
Well, that's because it's supposed to be entertaining. That doesn't mean...
But entertaining does not mean necessarily funny. But funny can still be horribly bad.
What do you know about that A&Y Entertainment?
Exactly.
But, okay, so where do you think it should go?
I mean, there could be made a case for all three lower tiers.
Well, I mean, we can't put it shouldn't exist, because if we put it shouldn't exist, then
there would be no Kung Fu Panda.
So do you think it should go in meh?
I guess.
Okay, so we are between Haha Funny and meh.
Let's settle then in the middle at mid.
Okay,
Fine.
I think... Is this a fair compromise?
I think that's fair.
From here fast.
Okay, Fantasia 2000. Okay, also a film we've all seen.
It only says Fantasia on this image.
Shut up, Max. Okay, so lightning round. We're not in the lightning round stage yet, Odie.
Not to mention the only movie with lightning in it is already in haha funny.
Yeah, ka-chow. We already have the ka-chow rating. Okay, Fantasia 2000. Now, while I love it, I don't think it's one of the defining films of the millennia. There's a reason we don't have a Fantasia 3000.
I mean, first of all, because it was 2000 was the year, so...
You get what I... Shut up! Shut up, I'm sick. I blow my nose in your general direction. Ugh. Anyways, I think it's a great movie. I think there's some really wonderful things in it. However, while I do love some of the live action segments with the conductors, I can totally see why people mean that's one of their biggest turnoffs. Because unless you're Penn and Teller or Bette Midler, some of those scenes were not funny.
Yeah.
Especially
but the animated segments are good.
Oh yeah, the anime. See, this is why Osmosis Jones isn't on the list. If we only judged the animated segments, then it probably would be a Millennium. However, there's the live action bits, and we can't ignore them. So I would personally put it in Great Watch. What do you guys think?
I agree.
Yeah.
Alright. That was easy.
Makes it easy.
Get in there,
I think it's because it's like... I think it's especially when... It did produce some amazing animation, and I still think about Rhapsody in Blue a lot. That's I think my favorite one. That and the Firebird Suite. I think those are like my two favorites out of 2000. I know anybody could say, but space whales. I'm like, yeah, I know the space whales are very pretty, but in terms of like character animation, that was like this. It's like, you know, when you have Eric Goldberg doing stuff and you have whales in space.
Oh, I popped my ears. Oh, God. Anyways, yeah.
Yeah, so anyway, I'm like, great watch.
Are you happy, Lauren? The horse is above Mickey Mouse.
Yes, I am.
Okay, back to DreamWorks. This was a decade of DreamWorks films. The first Madagascar movie. Okay. The Madagascar series is one that gets better with each movie, which means, to me, the first one is the weakest.
I still think it's a great... Oh, I still go back and watch it. Yeah, I'm just saying,
like, I feel like, the first one is fine. There is funny moments in it. I mean, I love the opening scene with, you know, Barney having the whole, like, fantasy spot, and then Alex waking him up. But the thing is just, I feel like the funnier characters in the movie are not in the movie as much as they should be. Because a lot of this... Well, because I think Melman was the funniest character, and he really did not get a lot after they left the zoo.
San Diego.
But, and also the penguins. But, I mean, we got a whole movie for the penguins, so... Fun fact.
Basically, working at the studio, I get to work with Private the Penguin. Part of my job.
Oh yeah, because isn't like half the penguins voiced by just people who work at DreamWorks?
Yeah, like Tom McGrath and Chris Knights, who play Skipper in Private. I believe, Tom McGrath, I believe he is still there. But because he went on to direct other movies and stuff. But and then Chris Knights has worked in editorial for a long time there. So
yeah, I just I'm kind of with Odie. The movie's not aged as well as an adult than I remember loving it as a kid. Like, I would watch Madagascar all the time as a kid, and I would get annoyed when I saw the ads for Over the Hedge, because it's like, you're getting in the way of my Madagascar. But, inversely, I like Over the Hedge more as an adult than I did as a kid. So, I don't know, this movie's fine. I feel like the other two movies are better, so I think I would put it in in mid or haha funny. Like it's a service. It's it's a.
If we're gonna do that, I would argue it's a haha funny because I do still get a lot of laughs out of it.
Yeah, it's
but you are right in that each movie does get better and better. Like that, I think that's the thing with Madagascar is I love that it's actually the series that truly does get better as everything continues. And not a whole lot of series can say that in general. So
indeed. But yeah, so
I would also, if I look what we already have in mid, I would say it's above it. And since it's a comedy, it qualifies for funny, so we don't need to make a case for great watch.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess we have a consensus.
Good, we have a consensus. Okay, so here's one that's probably Bolt.
Old. Millennium films.
Okay. I mean, I remember you saying that Bolt actually made you misty-eyed, so please go and
it's still, after our battle bracket in what is it even? Is it a Disney? It's a Disney, isn't it?
It is a Disney. It is Disney.
So atypical, so that it's hard to tell if it's a Disney. But yeah, we watched Disney it after we did our battle bracket. Actually, we watched it, and yeah, the scene still hits me.
So what's your argument for making it a Millennium film? Because
primarily putting it in there so we can negotiate it about it and then eventually read Great Watch or something.
All right, so
it's a tactical arrangement.
Okay, so
what?
Go ahead.
So okay. What is the good shit? What is the good shit about the movie? First, it plays with trope subversion, which I am always a great fan of. It has a small but very, very appealing cast. I mean,
and then the hamster.
I was about to say. Now we have the three main characters, which is Bolt, obviously. The cat, who probably steals the show with the entire backstory and the twists that come about her. I mean, Bolt's twist is right there in the beginning, like. Yep, he thinks everything is real. Whoopsies.
This movie is about a Scientologist losing his religion.
Oh no! Played by a Scientologist. Shit, that is layered.
Did I ruin the movie? I'm sorry.
Oh no, it just added an additional layer to it. With the hamster with Rhino, I have to say, for the small, annoying, comic relief sidekick character, he is actually good. Okay, given this context. Obviously, I would not say, hey, greatest character ever, but given the role he is filling in the movie, I have seen far worse iterations of it. It's nobody arguing against it. I didn't actually plan for it to end up in Millennium films.
We were just letting you finish. I'm so sorry that we actually did not talk over you.
Yeah, you need to get better at that.
Okay, well, I mean, I think of these 2000s movies, Bolt is one of the strongest ones. Like, I think it was it's paced well. It's well put together. The pigeon scene is hilarious. I think
look somehow familiar. I never forget a face.
I mean, Bolt is one of my favorite John Travolta performances because
I was gonna say
I think he needs to do more. He needs to do more voice acting. He's so funny.
It's funny because, 2007 had him in Hairspray as Edna Turnblad.
Which is my other favorite John Travolta.
And then 2008 came along and he was Bolt. And I'm like, honestly, why are these two, some of his greatest performances?
He was able to play that, super, I am an action star thing, and then, whittling down to just this good boy, so well. He was able to do the Bruce Wayne and the Batman, which I think is a hard thing for people to do as Bruce Wayne and Batman, let alone a dog. I love the cat. I think the cat has a great story. The declawing thing gets to me because it's man, that hurt when she was reveals that she was a declawed cat. Don't declaw your fucking pets. You're a monster if you so.
If you want a cat and you don't want the claws, just don't get the cat then. Just don't do it.
Yeah. You can't get a pet and then like
if you even consider declawing a cat when you're like, if you're even thinking about it, you shouldn't have a cat.
You shouldn't get a pet if you're not prepared for the inconveniences of a pet. You don't get a ferret unless you're prepared for the stink.
Yep.
Like, you don't get a dog if you're not prepared to walk it. You don't get a cat if you're not prepared for the claws. You're a bad person.
Yep. Yep.
But no, it's just a very well put together movie. I think the only character that I'm like about is the film producer, and that's just because like I don't think the film really needed that slimy of a character.
Oh, you mean the manager, the agent?
Yeah, the agent. Because I feel like the conflict of it's Hollywood, so the dog is trained to be this way is a fine enough conflict without having a personification of it. But I understand it's a kid's movie. You need a personification of something.
Yeah, you need something that's a little bit more. Yeah.
Look at this good boy.
Look at him.
Look at this sweet. Disney made such a cute looking dog. I
such
really
a baby.
Look at him. Look at those ears.
I'm looking.
I know that you meant this as a shitpost, Max, but I think this film has the same quality as Spirit and Atlantis. It's just a different type of movie.
I mean, I personally love the movie. So from a favorites, it's from. I mean, okay, I only have watched 3 of the movies.
Netro went back towards Baby Bolt. How dare you? Look at this baby.
Look at him.
Look at him with his little carrot. How dare you? And one of his ears is floppy.
In the movie for like 3 minutes.
I know, but it's a good baby. That I also showed an adult Bolt, so meh. But yes, I think this goes in Millennium. Netro thinks it goes in meh, which wow, what a drop. But it's in your list. But Lauren, do you disagree?
I don't disagree.
Yeah.
Okay, didn't see that one coming.
Are you happy about this?
I guess I'm usually very cautious in giving top scores, so I'm like a bit baffled by it. I mean, realistically, I probably would have put it in Great Watch, but I don't have a problem leaving it up there.
Yeah, honestly, maybe it's just the quality of films in the 2000s accordingly, but I think it's just, especially retrospectively, I think it's just a very strong Disney movie. So there you go. Now, moving back to Sony, Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. I love this fucking movie. I saw it in theaters.
And it's a great adaptation of the book material, because it's like it takes what was a very simple concept. Like, they didn't have all this story and character development in the book. They knew how to work around all of that to make sure that there was a story there centered around characters.
The
animation is so fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's a Phil Lord. It was Phil Lord and Chris Miller's like first big animated film, and I mean, watching it now and being a huge fan of Clone High, you get a lot of Clone High humor, but just softened a bit for the kiddies. But I fucking love this movie. I love how Flint is animated. He's animated like a fucking puppet, and I love it. I love when he types on the keyboard and all you see is just his fingers slapping against the damn thing.
And it's Bill Hader. I don't think you can
Bill Hader's
Bill
great.
Hader.
Don't be a hater.
Yeah. And also Bruce Campbell's the villain as the mayor. And that's great. Come on. I can't hate Bruce Campbell in anything. One of the likable Andy Samberg roles, which I could count 2. No, 3 if you count Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I like him in Brooklyn Nine. I like Andy Samberg. He's just not cast in a lot of good things. But yeah, there's just a lot of good in this movie. I don't think it's a Millennium film as much as I would say like the thing that could put it in there is that if we didn't have this and Lego Movie, we wouldn't have Lord and Miller producing movies like Spider-Verse and Mitchells and Machines, and now having Clone High back next year, you know, this movie kind of helped them, you know, get on that pathway to being revered enough. But Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs walked so Spider-Verse can run.
Yay!
Say the line, Bart! Doesn't help that I sound like Milhouse right now. But I think it's at least a great watch. I don't know what you two think. Obviously, I have a very personal bias to it, because it was a movie I went to go see in theaters. It's a very influential film to me.
I think it's a great watch too.
Yeah. Yep.
Hooray! Okay, Millennium Film right here!
Okay, but in all seriousness, actually, it is such a wildly bizarre movie that at the time, I just think people weren't ready for the kind of film that it was.
Eddie's in the chat! Hi, Eddie! Cloudy ran so Spider-Verse could also run. You know, that's true. Look, I love Cloudy, Eddie. Just be aware of that. I love this fucking movie. But, okay.
But yeah, I was gonna say B-movie is an interesting breed because it's like, again, I think when it came out, the humor that it had, the jokes that it threw, and just the overall premise was so bizarre that I don't think anybody at the time in 2007 was ready for that.
It's ahead of its time.
Yeah, but people come back to it now. Now there's a whole meme culture around B-movie, enough that there was an actual full-blown musical made revolving around B-movie and taking like thriving on the meme culture around it. So, I mean, if you haven't seen it, by the way, it's called You Like Jazz, and it is a college production musical that actually is impressive. Like, the music's really good, and they do these cute little bee puppets for when it's like,
I talked about this on Awkward. Like, and people were not happy with me my entire time of pitching this musical. It's like and Tommy Wiseau runs for president. It's like, it's so absolutely bizarre. And again, I'm like, I sit here going, yeah, I think people were just not ready for it the time it came out, and over time, people kind of started coming back around to it enough that I'm like, is it a fantastic film? No. But it is a wildly fun film because it's like, and it's so bizarre. Again, the whole premise of like leading up to freaking court where Ray Liotta is at the stand having to argue over his honey brand. Lauren, DreamWorks isn't watching. It's okay.
No, I am genuinely saying this. Like,
Lauren,
I'm like, I sat here going...
Okay, hold your hand up to the camera, fold your thumb in, and then fold all your other fingers over it if you need help.
I am genuinely saying this. Why do people not believe me?
Because it shouldn't exist.
Okay.
Let me make a very good argument with Futurama.
Okay.
Great sentence to start any point, I'm sure.
Okay.
You guys remember the episode where Leela joins the whatever league? The league of her own parody episode?
Mm-hmm.
And the entire thing is that at the end of it, Leela sucked so much and gave women in that sport such a bad rep that she inspired all the other women to come out and start doing the sport and become successful athletes because she was so bad. But this doesn't make her a great person doing this sport. I still don't know what the sport is called, so this is kind of making this argument. It's not baseball, it's the Futurama equivalent. But whatever, that ball.
Oh, baseball, apparently.
I could be. But yeah, point being that just because she spawned and inspired greatness doesn't make her great by retroactiveness.
Are you saying that B-Movie, the 2007 Oklahoma Film Critics Circle Award winner for not so obviously worst film, is not a good movie, Max?
Yes.
That is an actual award that it won in 2007.
That's fascinating, because my personal story with it was like, I'm watching it. well, there's actually some smart things in it. And, trope aversion. I just talked about how I like trope aversion. And then we hit the courtroom and we get John Truman
Goodman.
Baby Man. And it's like... I'm hearing the metaphorical screeching tires in my head and glass shattering sounds, and I'm like,
movie together.
yeah, and then I'm like, what happened to the decent and kind of smart movie I watched for half an hour? What just happened? It turned so bad so drastically.
But are you her little bad bug?
Bad bug.
Like, here's the thing.
I'm nothing to do with the human race.
I'm in the middle between you two of
Auschwitz references.
Yeah, it did have an
For
Auschwitz.
fun!
For fun. That's a drag queen. Like, okay, I'm in the middle between you two of let me visualize this that you guys will see later on. I'm in the middle of you two between this issue of wrong me.
A millennium film and shouldn't exist.
I don't consider it a millennium film.
Look,
I never
I'm
said that.
between you
I'm just
two
arguing that it's genuinely funny.
in the arguments of it's funny and it shouldn't exist because wow, 50% of it's a bad movie. Because I'm kind of in the camp with Max is that the movie was genuinely entertaining until we got to the courtroom scene and it became a completely different movie. Like, it's like I pressed pause, I walked away, and Netflix chose a different movie for me that's in the same animation style. However, apparently the original ending for this movie was Barry was going to be in space. So, what we could have gotten...
He's going to be in space.
Lauren, you're not helping your argument here. Because here's the thing.
I do also... a pun! I don't...
Here's the thing. Birth of a Nation. The first... Yes, I am equating B-movie to Birth of a Nation. The film that objectively changed the course of filmmaking in the way of, like, the 3-act structure and everything, even though it's a terribly racist Ku Klux Klan movie, basically. B-movie is... We can look at Birth of the Nation and be like, this is actually a horrible piece of culture. But in what it contributes to the industry itself, it has something to be quote-unquote revered. B-movie is not a good movie, but what it contributed to meme culture and the things that it did is something to be revered. I don't think the world came together nearly as much without the this thing, but every time B is said, I have to drink a thing of hot sauce, or I read the B-movie script over and over again. There was a unifying culture because of stuff like B-movie and We Are Number One, which was like at the same time, which was an intoxicating combo. To Twitter, don't let Twitter take you out of control. What is
you realize the only people responsible would be you guys for that, because you're sitting here watching this, right? You could just not do that.
And what I'm saying is that Birth of a Nation and B-movie are similar in the way that they're not good, but they did make some kind of contribution to society and media.
Hey, again, it's like you would if you didn't have the bad stuff.
But
you
they're
wouldn't
both
appreciate
terribly
the good stuff.
bad and weirdly racial. Because I mean, B-movie does have the while we take orders from the white man. So, Key, you lost the argument. I wasn't making an argument. I was just saying that this is how I'm in the middle of these two. Because look. I find B-movie horrendously entertaining, like I do true crime documentaries and car crash footage.
So can we concur that it's the ha-ha funny tier?
I mean, it's definitely not mid. It's not a boring movie. It's not a boring movie.
I would put B-movie over Open Season and Shark Tale any day. Like that's a given. So
Yeah, there is racism against wasps in that movie. That they also.
I like that. It's like I like that people are going like, oh, but there is this and this and I'm like, you realize that characters can be flawed and their mindsets can be flawed, right? You realize that, right?
Judaism exists in bee culture. Apparently.
Yeah, I'm like,
there's a lot
Judy
of
Hopps had her own prejudices, and you're like, oh, but she's so cute. Like, I'm sitting here going like, you can't say you know this is okay, but this one's not when they're both the same thing in different flavors.
I feel like Max is not happy with this possibly going in haha funny.
It's my previous complaint of calling a category haha funny allows any movie, no matter the quality, if you have a laughter with it, to go into this category.
But you can honestly say it is better than Shark Tale in open season in terms of what it contributes. That, like, in terms of the comedy.
There we go.
You can laugh more times at B-movie than you can at the other two.
Now it's haha entertaining. How about that?
Fuck you. Let's move on to the next one.
I love you too.
Yes, they did tranquilize. They did shoot Pooh Bear with a tranquilizer dart. Yes, they did that.
All right. Now moving on to another. Well, this one's a DreamWorks and Aardman crossover.
Mm-hmm.
I really hope I don't go on Twitter and then see that Eddie has unfollowed me. I've said worse. He said worse.
You know what?
We've both made mistakes.
The Bird app is on fire
lives.
anyway. So like, what even is anything anymore? So,
anyways, so the film that I think stopped the DreamWorks Aardman crossovers, Flushed Away. I actually like this movie, so
yeah.
I do too.
It's a movie that you don't think would be as good as it is. Like like it when you look at the ads for it, you look at those fucking slugs. I hate those slugs. They are the precursor for minions.
Oh yeah, slugs crawl so that minions could destroy television. Something
basically, like but yeah, so. Your fever is definitely back. I mean, it is, Charlie. That's besides the point. My opinions are so clear as day. But yes, it's surprisingly good. I mean, Hugh Jackman and Kate Winslet make a great duo with being the Roddy and God, what's her name in the movie?
Rita
and Roddy. Yeah. But I think like and
the villain's really funny too.
Oh, the villain is so funny. I love the two henchmen mice. Just put your legs together as you hit the water.
When you hit the water.
Put my legs together. Like, it's a very British movie, like violently British. The villain is a royalist, so like. Yeah. But I don't think like it's not the best Aardman movie by any stretch of the imagination. It's not the best DreamWorks movie by any stretch of the imagination. But I think it's very fun. I feel like people didn't give it a chance because of how it marketed itself, like it was going to be a very toilet humor movie. When in fact, there's very few jokes that revolve around bodily functions in toilet.
Yeah,
so,
it's just literally the toilet is the only means of. It was just the means that he got. It's just the start of his journey. Because there's really no other toilet humor really in it.
The whole like first 10 minutes of the movie is just him dancing around to a song about masturbation. Like that's the If you didn't know what Dancing with Myself was about, that's what the song is about. I mean, it's also implied this rat like makes out and probably does other things with dolls. So let's ignore that.
He is lonely.
I mean, lonely men do like to play with dolls. We know
He's a single, successful guy.
Yeah.
To quote Fast Times at Ridgemont.
If England is winning, everything is possible. Oh yeah, this movie is great if you're a football fan. So, as a British, don't blame me for Flushed Away. I'm not I mean, is it blame if I'm saying that it's a good movie?
Yeah. I mean, I would even go that far and put it in great watch.
I think it's a great watch. I think it's
a great watch as well.
Surprisingly a great watch.
Yeah. It has some flaws, which holds it a little bit back, but it has so many great elements. Like, every now and then, I like returning them.
Realized,
yeah.
Is Curse of the Were-Rabbit even on this list?
I mean, keep in mind...
No! The only Aardman movie, and it's flushed away!
Keep in mind, those tier lists are made by some randos on the internet.
Yeah,
and if I made
this, you knew it would be on here. But
it would already be in Millennium Film, so you know.
Yeah.
Preset.
Yeah, but like, I mean, it's literally the Oscar-winning Aardman movie. So, did Chicken Run win an Oscar? It didn't, right? It was
nominated. It was
nominated. But, no, I think Flushed Away is a great watch, surprisingly. Also, CGI looks great with imitating the Aardman style. Like, you wouldn't know it was a CGI movie.
Yeah, they did a really good, they did a really good job of, making it look like...
Apparently, Eddie is not happy that Flushed Away is next to Cloudy. Well, you know what? I don't want to make Eddie cry, so we'll just put it next... So it's only next to Fantasia.
Yeah, separated 2000. By Fantasia 2000 that has the Fantasia 1940s
The rat is
version.
next to the rat. So... Does that... But there we go. Oh, look, we're back to DreamWorks. With Madagascar 2, Escape to Africa.
Did all three Madagascars make it on here?
No, because Madagascar 3, I think, was made in 2011 or something.
Ah, okay. So,
yes. Only the second one. Actually, no. Actually, it was 2012 when the third Madagascar came out.
Mickey is a mouse, Chrissy. No, Netro.
Afro circus, Afro. Poke it out, Afro.
Don't. That plagued my schooling years, because that had the same hypnotic hive mind as Harlem Shake did, and I don't know how.
Harlem Shake.
Shut up! You were actually in a Harlem Shake video.
I know.
I was not. I was able to avoid that.
That's a good point, because Shrek was the first one to be nominated and win for Best Animated Feature when it was a brand new category. You are right. Oh my god.
Eddie is right. I knew that there was something revolving around Chicken Run, because I think they were submitting Chicken Run for Best Film, and they were snubbing it, and Katzenberg was not happy about that, as he shouldn't be. But yes, Escape to Africa, the first of the weird trifecta of movies that DreamWorks cast Alec Baldwin in. Because there's this one, then Rise of the Guardians, and then Boss Baby. There was an increase and then a sudden downturn. But yeah, Escape to Africa, I think it's really funny. I
think Moto likes you.
Oh my god, fucking chunky. But I think this movie is good because it has different plots for each of the crew. Because you have Marty having an identity crisis with being around zebras that are all just like him and all voiced by Chris Rock, which if I was surrounded by a bunch of horses that sound like Chris Rock, that would be my personal hell. I like Chris Rock, mind you, but there's such thing as too much of a good thing.
Good thing, yeah.
And Marty the zebra would agree. And then, you have the whole thing with Alex not being a true lion because, well, he was raised pampered in New York. And you have the best example of an obvious villain. Because Alec Baldwin drips nasty.
Yeah. And I love it. He literally comes in with the pompadour hair, gee, I wonder who the bad guy is. And he's literally just going to spell out, I'm the bad guy. Oh, well, makes it easy, doesn't it?
He's if Scar had confidence. I adore the villain in Madagascar 2, simply because he just revels in being nasty, which we don't get a lot anymore from villains. But... good news, we're landing. Bad news, we're crash landing.
I think the one thing that I kind of thought was a little weird to suddenly have as a plot point was Melman and Gloria, but the thing is, they ended up making it they made it a good, like, actual, like, I'm hearing the lo-fi beat suddenly very low. But it did make me think that, like, okay, if they keep the trajectory going with it, then I'm curious to see how they allow their relationship to flourish. But I think the one thing was, like, it kind of just came out of nowhere. Where I'm like, when did Melman have a crush on Gloria? Like, it was never. But then I had to think, you know, the first Madagascar was, like, mostly focused on Marty and Alex anyway, and their friendship. So, you know,
I mean,
take what you can get.
The Melman Gloria thing at least led into a very nice scene where we discover that Moto is a shallow.
Yeah,
he's not even like an asshole. He's just a dumb, shallow man.
Yeah,
and only has the sickness for the thickness and not the thickness of personality. Like that was a very cute scene. Like, that's the type of guy you want, who likes you for your curves and the wrinkles in your brain. Like, but which also, Moto wasn't a bad guy. He's just kind of a dumbass.
Yeah,
but like, because he wasn't like mean to Gloria. He was just like, oh,
you know
like
what he
ass,
is,
and that is it.
He's kind of himbo.
He's kind of himbo, yeah. He's a himbo.
He's not ill-meaning. He's not ill-meaning.
Yeah, he knows what he likes. He likes that ass, and he didn't know anything else besides that. He's dense like that ass. Yeah. So, but like, sorry, jokes write themselves. But I thought this was just a nice movie. I think it.
Nana leading the tourist group was also really funny.
that
like,
is
she if there's anyone, quote, villain that you can actually go, oh my god, she's somebody to be feared, that's Nana.
Yeah. But here's the thing, with all that in mind, I don't know if it's like haha entertaining and just above Madagascar 1, or if it's great watch material. I don't know.
I think it's great watch, because it does level up on the first movie, and especially being able to focus on all of the characters as an ensemble.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a
and even giving more time to the penguins as they're working on their stuff and their relationship with the relationship with the chimpanzees, and the chimpanzees going like, you know, we're not, you know, we're having an uprising because we're not paid enough to deal with it. So it's like, yeah, it's like the whole. Like, the fact that they had so many things going on at the same time, but it felt like they gave enough time to them all. It was rather nice.
Yeah, like, it definitely is a level up in that it's what a good sequel should be. It's that it builds upon things. What do you think, Max?
Yeah, I mean, I would agree that it probably has... Really, we're doing all the Shreks together?
I just did not like them. Like, I do think it was kind of dumb to have Shrek 2 first and not Shrek 1 at least.
What's the matter with this list? Why is it not chronological?
This is why I should have made it.
Well,
but anyways.
You're sick, bro.
I know.
But no, I would agree that putting it in Great Watch seems legit. Since, yeah, it was an improvement over over Madagascar, which is like, yeah, is it ahead of it within Haha Entertainment, or is it a Great Watch? But since it was fun, why not? Yeah, but it's blah, 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 blah.
It's a very well.
It's a fantastic day with you sick and me being a little bit thrown for a loop, sleeping cycles wise.
Yeah, this is.
Lauren, you have to carry the show. I hope you're ready for that.
Yeah, we are all piggybacking off of you. I hope you could carry a collective. How much do you weigh? Not you. I don't ask a woman how much she weighs. I'm talking about Max.
Oh.
82.
82 kilograms to.
Could be 160 roundabout.
180.
What?
You said 82, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's 180.7 pounds.
Huh. I mean, the rule of thumb of 2 pounds make a kilogram is very generously rounded, so, oh yeah.
Yeah, and then I'm like 132, 135, so hope you're prepared to carry that much on your back, Lauren.
This complete derail off the topic was brought to you by Monster's Energy. I don't even know. What is the energy drink you keep drinking, Key?
I mean, like, I do drink sugar-free Monster Energy drinks.
See? Okay, so it all came around, it worked out. Excellent.
Do you have a Monster Energy with you right now?
I always have Monster Energy in the fridge for emergencies.
Is it an emergency today?
No.
Oh. Glad that this show is not an emergency for you. But anyways, so, this is actually one I want you to talk about first, Bex, because you actually like this movie. So just to put it on screen easier. It's just to put it on screen. It's just to put it on screen.
I see. No, I mean, yeah, it's very tropey. It overall is not a fantastic game changer, but it has some elements that are entertaining, I would argue. And yeah. I mean, what is there to say? Like, okay, the military dude, which is thankfully only short in it. Then again, I could even see the military dude with his jetpack having a fan club. I mean, it's one of those movies where I dare to say that the protagonist, aka the big lady, is probably one of the least interesting characters in the entire movie.
She really is so not interesting.
Yeah, it's true.
Isn't
but I mean,
she voiced by the purple fish in Shark Tale? Like, wow, what a 1-2 punch of mid characters. Because she's either voiced by that fish or she's voiced by the girl the bee wants to fucking be movie. Like, both of these are not good choices.
Isn't it fucking Reese Witherspoon?
Is it?
It is. It is fucking Reese Witherspoon.
Yeah, Reese Witherspoon is the lead in Monsters vs. Aliens.
Yes. You're thinking of somebody else, I think.
Yeah, Renee Zellweger was in B-Movie and Shark Tale.
Okay.
Actually, technically, Renee Zellweger was also a supporting voice in Monsters vs. Aliens, just not as a dominant one. She's just
really
like a background character.
In this
also, Will Arnett is a missing link. They actually have quite an ensemble as voice actors.
Yeah, they got Will Arnett as missing link. Hugh Laurie is the cockroach guy.
Yes.
It was Reese Witherspoon, Seth Rogen, Hugh Laurie, Will Arnett.
And Weed Seth Rogen is Bob.
Yeah.
Like this movie has a stacked cast. Stephen Colbert is the president.
It's the president, yeah.
Rainn Wilson.
Yeah, like this whole movie, it has a stacked cast.
Oh no, the general is actually Kiefer Sutherland.
Yep, this movie, my compliments begin and end with good cast. Horrendously underutilized.
I dare to say it also has some funnies in it.
I think that there are a few haha funnies. My favorite scene is when the president's doing the contacting with the aliens and plays the final countdown. That scene is great. But I can't remember a single scene besides that. I'm digging in my brain to try to remember scenes from this movie, and then I'm like, oh wait, I got one, and it's from, and then
he wasn't playing Final Countdown. He was playing Axel F.
Oh, that even shows how little I remember.
Because I had to sit there going, no, it wasn't.
It was the Crazy Frog song. You're right. But like, every time I try to think I remember a scene from this movie, I realize I'm remembering a scene from the fucking Halloween special that they released with the zombie carrots.
Yep.
This movie's not memorable. I am so sorry. This movie has so little going on in it.
But does it necessarily mean it can't be funny while watching it?
If it's funny, I would remember it.
But you wait.
The parts I remember are from the Halloween special, which do not count in this situation.
But doesn't by B-movie logic, doesn't industry impact count?
What impact did Monsters vs. Aliens leave on the industry?
They made a Halloween special that you do remember.
That's not an impact on the industry. That's an impact on itself. Its own, like, microcosm of DreamWorks. B-movie has memes across the horizon. I don't see anyone making a meme of Monsters vs. Aliens.
So, what is your point where you would argue it belongs?
I think this movie's meh at best, man. Like, I think it goes in Barnyard category. What do you think, Lauren?
I would say meh, too. It's
I mean, previously we had arguments for open season that, no, I can't barely remember anything from open season, but it was okay to watch.
Yeah, I did like some of the jokes in Monsters vs. Aliens, but I think I don't think that it shouldn't exist. It's just, I feel like, again, it was a lot of, like, you had a stack cast, that it wasn't, the story didn't use the characters to their full potential, and then we did have series after that. You know, they did have a TV series, and they did have the shorts and stuff like that.
Which is a surprise to me.
Megamind
only just now gets a fucking show, but this had 2 things.
Yeah, I think, when Megamind, I think it's kind of like when B-movie had its following later, except Megamind was great from the get-go, and I feel like people just didn't appreciate it when it came out. So,
I like Odie's,
certainly not to the level it's appreciated now. Which is criminal.
I like Odie's distinction here. I say it's mid on a good day, but it's raining, so it's meh.
Yeah.
You know what?
That's
I'll compromise and say it's in mid. I don't see the appeal of this movie at all. Because also, I think it looks ugly as sin.
It was in that transitional period of when the people were starting, they're improving the human models and stuff like that, and the rendering was being improved as well. So you had to think about between productions as they were going from, one to the other. And especially when you have something that's sort of, it's stylized, but it's also trying to look real. Meanwhile, you had
just look
like
at
Kung Fu
Steven
Panda,
Colbert.
which still stands, but it's because you had very stylized animals in a very stylized world. Yeah. So the rendering didn't have to highly depend on being super realistic.
Yeah. So it goes in films that I think are of similar quality. Hey, the chat reminded me of one joke from Monsters vs. Aliens that I like, which is, Invisible Man died. He's still on that chair.
He's still on that chair.
That is a good joke. I will give it that. That's what raises it to mid. But okay. So, we have a special thing here, because apparently every Shrek movie came out in the 2000s, apparently.
Huh.
Even Shrek Forever After?
According to that list.
Of course
I wouldn't...
Shrek Forever. It came out 2010.
Oh my god. It just barely made it in.
Barely made it in of 2000s to 2010. So, yes. There we go. So, we could go a little bit quicker on these because, well, they're the Shrek movies. So, Shrek 1.
Okay, so let's just go through all 4. Great show, millennial film, shouldn't exist, great show.
Okay, wait. Great show for Shrek 1. Great watch for Shrek 1.
Mm-hmm.
Shrek 2 is Millennium.
Millennium film.
Shouldn't exist for Shrek 3. And did you also say shouldn't exist for Shrek 4?
No, great watch.
No, great watch.
Okay, so what is your argument for Shrek 1?
Shrek 1 had to walk.
So Shrek 2 can run.
No, but no, I would say it was it's first of its kind. So technically, since we have the benefit of retrospective, we can look back at something and criticize it. I mean, yeah, it's something to figure out. Like, does it hold up? The big does it hold up question. And I would say that still, while it doesn't have the BAMF of a Shrek 2, that it still has a compelling story with the characters. Everything is a little bit more low key because, was it the big first? It was the big first big movie they made, right?
No, the first DreamWorks movie was Ants.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then came Prince of Egypt, and then came Road to El Dorado, and then came Shrek.
I guess among the animated, the CGI ones, I should say. Then it was technically the second.
This was arguably the first, like, groundbreaking one, because Ants, suffered from the fact that everyone was arguing what was better, this or Bug's Life. This was the first one where it was unequivocally their movie.
And one that was fueled on spite and just to be a big middle finger.
Which is why I actually want to put it in B tier, because rewatching it now as an adult, I don't like it as much as I used to. I think that it's good as a satire, like, and as being this, like, biting thing towards the Disney Corporation. But as a movie itself, with an actual, like, because it is trying to have a heart in there somewhere, I feel like it gets muddied by the satire. Meanwhile, Shrek 2 actually balances it out perfectly. Yeah, I'm in the minor camp. I think the musical actually handles the Shrek 1 plot better than the original movie, personally.
Yeah.
Don't ask
But unfortunately, the musical is not ranked here, so...
I know, because it's technically animated.
Yeah, and it didn't come out in the 2000s either.
No, it did.
Really? The musical?
Like 2009, I think.
Oh! I thought
the Pro Shot is up on Netflix still, I think.
Shrek the Musical. No, okay, no, Max is right. Shrek the Musical is from 2013.
No, it's not. I saw when I was in London, I saw the sign for it on the West End in 2011. Okay. So no, it's still been around. It was around before that.
It was it was released on. Okay, what I'm seeing is its release date on Netflix, which the Pro Shot was released in 2013. But that's not the argument we're having here. We're not having an argument about when Shrek the Musical was released on Broadway.
What? I was in the wrong call the entire time.
God, next time we will have a musical tier list, because our theater kids would come out so badly.
Yeah, I actually looked for musical tier lists as well, but many of them had went all the way back, and I'm like,
I guess I will make mine then. Also, yeah. So I was right originally. It was it would open December of 2008. So I was close to 2009. There you go. And then it closed after 12 months in 2010.
Yeah, because the first draft they needed to go back and workshop it. Yeah. So,
point being, Shrek 1. I personally think, as when we see where Shrek went, I think the spite actually muddies it as an adult. Because, I don't know. It's I guess that's just depending on what movie you're planning to go into. And the Shrek franchise evolved past that spite. So looking at it where it started, it's just kind of like, wow, you're a nasty little movie, aren't you? So I think it's entertaining. I think it's good, but I don't think it's super great as just, a 3-act film with a heart in it. But again, that may just be what I'm looking for.
I personally think I think Shrek 2 is definitely better than Shrek 1. I still think that I recently rewatched Shrek, and honestly, I'm I still consider it a great watch. I don't think the spite really muddies it as much. And plus, at the time, yeah, I'm like, it set out to be just like the antithesis of
this opinion, but where else am I going to say my opinion about Shrek 1?
Well, that's what I'm like. I let you. I'm like, I was gonna let you speak. I'm like, that's what, and it's valid. I was like, I think it's still considered a great watch because a lot of the humor still does stand. And yes, there's some that's still a product of its time, but you know what? You take it as it is.
Yeah, that's why I'm putting it in great watch. Majority rules.
But yeah, so, and then, honestly, John Lithgow as the villain. I mean, it's so funny that how defining
many of you will die, but that's a sacrifice I'm willing
to make.
I do like Farquaad, so no worries there. I don't think there's any disagreements with putting Shrek 2 in Millennium Films. Film,
that's without question.
Come on.
Where I need all the good man gone, and where are all the...
changes.
There was somebody at DreamWorks' Halloween party that dressed as the fairy godmother in her, I Need a Hero outfit, which was fantastic.
That is great.
I'll have to try and find pictures of it. It was a great costume.
I can't think of... I like everything about Shrek 2, so I have no complaints. I love everything.
I think that's where they really nailed the formula. Once they really figured out the world and the rules that they set up for it, the humor that they could lean into, the pop culture references that they could use, and then adding characters that really flesh out that world even more.
And the humans don't look ugly as sin.
Yeah.
Like, it was just... and Puss. Come on, all the new
Puss
characters,
and Boots.
All the characters they added were perfect. Puss was great. I love John Cleese as the king. Julie Andrews as the queen is great. Prince Charming is one of the funniest fucking characters, and it makes me mad that he was made the villain in Shrek 3 because he's so not funny. Speaking of, I'm sorry, no.
Yeah.
I fucking hate this movie. There's so much bad with this movie. Why did I don't know what led them to the conclusion that this movie made. Like, there's so much wrong with it. Like, I hate it. I hate it so.
Oh, I do remember laughing at the one. Again, this is like the what was it? Well, someone better be dying. I'm dying.
I hate that joke.
I remember.
I don't know.
I remember like the joke about the princess parodies weaponizing their abilities, but that's also it. That's the one. But
I think that the movie does some kind of fucky shit that I do not find fucking Eric Idle funny at any moment in time.
Yeah.
And also, the whole, like, body switch Freaky Friday shit with Donkey and Puss was so unnecessary.
I'm like, it didn't achieve anything.
They needed a conflict for those two because they didn't do anything in the film outside of that.
Although the moment that Puss does try to do the cute puss face while in Donkey's body, it's just like, oh, it's hideous, kill it! I'm like... Like, okay, that's pretty funny. It's just like because he's thinking he can try to do the cute face in that body.
Yeah, but it doesn't work because Donkey's a kind of ugly cute. It's like liking pugs.
Yeah.
But, okay, and then finally, we're at Shrek Forever After, which is such an improvement once you go past Shrek 3. And it's like...
It's a Wonderful Life, but Shrek. That's what it is.
Yeah, I really like Shrek Forever After. It's not Shrek 2. No movie is Shrek 2. But I think it's...
Would you consider it a haha entertaining?
I think it's I know that Max put it a great watch, but I think it's haha entertaining. It's cute and fine. Like, I feel like I put this in the same, like, it's entertaining like how Madagascar is entertaining. It has a heart to it, which I appreciate. But also, this movie made me have to deal with the ogre babies. I hate babies. So...
I mean, you see the entire point about the movie is that Shrek also hates them and wants to get away from them, so...
Yeah, but at the end of the movie, he has them again.
It's the
thing of,
like... the franchise.
Yeah, the babies end franchises.
Yeah,
like
it's a true story, except for the boss baby.
Except,
and then, and yet another DreamWorkster was the voice of Rumpelstiltskin, Walt Doran. So.
Yes, at some point that was supposed to be Paul McCartney, and that intrigues me about what that timeline could have been. I will say I do love the Pied Piper in this movie. That was the best scene in the entire movie. And I love Fiona in this movie. That movie, honestly, this could get moved to Great Watch in my opinion, for they actually did something with Fiona that I liked, because in Shrek 3, Fiona was fucking useless. She was pregnant and useless.
Pregnant?
But, like, I love Warrior Fiona. That was chef's kiss. I love that.
And also, I can say that I know the guy who does Butter Pants now.
Good for you, Lauren. All right, but I don't think there's any argument for this next one. How to Train Your Dragon.
The first one? Oh, yeah, that's a game changer.
I mean, How to Train Your Dragon is one of the most... Is just one of the best DreamWorks movies of all time. I don't know how far it got. Did we do we did a DreamWorks battle bracket, and I know that How to Train Your Dragon got really far.
Yes.
Or at least someone.
Let me quickly double check there. I'm sure
I love How to Train Your Dragon. It's such a good movie.
I want to say that, like, How to Train Your Dragon and Kung Fu Panda both did cinematography that they were. It was like a brand new thing for both those movies. The kind of like the choreography and like flight choreography, the cinematography, everything was brand new for them to try because they hadn't done anything at the scale of that, especially with dragons. That they wanted to try and really truly make it feel like you were flying with the dragons and you simulate just the grand scale of their world. And it only kept getting bigger, which was awesome. So, and of course you got Toothless, who is freaking precious as all heck.
I love Toothless. I will kill everyone in this room and then myself for Toothless. And also this movie made 3D actually like usable. Because I saw this movie in 3D when it came out in theaters. It was gorgeous. I would give anything to... If there is a movie theater experience that I could go back in time and watch, it would be Dragons. Because seeing the flight sequences in 3D is, like, gorgeous. So, and, like, Hiccup is a great character. Everything about this. And, like, it spawned the... I know that people would argue with me, because this and Kung Fu Panda, I would say, are the best DreamWorks franchises. I personally put Dragons a little bit higher than Kung Fu Panda, but that's because I like dragons. I think
it's also directed by Chris Sanders, so I mean, you're gonna have a wonderful, heartfelt story whenever he's at the helm.
Obviously, so I don't think there's any arguments here about putting this in Millennium.
Yeah. No question.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So Surf's Up. Max, did you ever see Surf's Up?
No!
All right, so you go stay over there with your Legos.
Yay!
Okay.
The movie that inspired me to name my one of my first characters, Lonnie, was this movie. Yes.
But
Holy shit, we killed How to Train Your Dragon in the first round.
Wait, what? When did
we killed?
What was it up against?
Prince of Egypt.
Okay.
Yeah. See, there you go.
What about the sequels?
I believe we only let one of the franchises go into the battle bracket itself. So we first picked the best of the franchise, which makes sense because I see Shrek 2, which also got killed in the first round.
But what was it up against?
The other big animated one.
Oh.
There's 2D one, I mean. They're all animated.
Was it Road to El Dorado?
Road to El Dorado killed Shrek 2.
Okay, that makes sense.
But yeah, I believe
it's unfair. In retrospect, unfair to put dragons against Prince of Egypt. Anything's gonna lose against Prince of Egypt.
Except, wait. Oh, Over the Hedge beat Prince of Egypt.
How did that happen?
Probably because of me.
Yeah, probably because of you. Yeah, I mean, Megamind did win. That was a round.
I do remember that winning, and I'm like, I know so many people who are to be so happy with knowing this result.
And Spirit made it to the semi-finale.
Ah.
Yeah, Spirit made it to the semi-finale without me ever watching it.
Yeah, I think I remember you saying that you were surprised how far it got with your bullshitting.
Yep. I even helped it win above Home.
Oh, well, I mean, that wasn't hard.
Which I also didn't watch.
God, we need, you know what, that's a Three Idiots episode. We do an audio commentary of one of the first, like, battle brackets or something. See if our minds have changed. Anyways.
All right,
but yeah,
so back to Surf's Up.
Yeah, I gave Max his Legos, so he can play with those while we actually talk like adults, so.
You are making fun of that. What I'm actually doing.
What are you actually doing?
Is.
Are you uploading something?
What are you waiting for?
Yeah, what are you doing? Oh, you're drawing. Okay. But that's not fun, so you're playing with Legos. Okay.
Oh.
But yeah, Surf's Up. I remember liking Surf's Up. It's definitely something unique because it was made to look like a documentary. Which
they had a whole camera system set up to be like a handy cam, so it was made to look documentary style, which hadn't been done before.
Yeah, it's definitely a unique movie. It's very unique. That's the best adjective I could give to it. I don't remember like bowling over loving it though. I think it's entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
Like but maybe that's my memories of it. I mean, you obviously like the movie enough that you named a character after it.
Yeah, I think it's again because the way they handle the character interactions is they try to make it seem organic, you know? Like the dialogue sounds like they're more working off of each other rather than a script.
Mm-hmm.
Which I really like because it makes it feel more natural and impromptu.
Yeah, you have with Shia LaBeouf in it.
Shia LaBeouf. Yes, and
actual serial killer Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah, he's a bit of a hot button topic these days, isn't he? But then I remember Zooey Deschanel plays Lonnie, and I feel like what I think is really nice is that they kind of have her, relationship with Z, and the connection that they're like, oh, he's my uncle, like, I feel like I wish they could have had more developed with her, but I do like that it seems like, she does care about him and stuff, and when he's gone all hermit mode. Yeah, I don't know. And I wish I could say that it's like the story is not the strongest aspect of it. I will say
definitely not. It's a typical surf movie, so
yeah. But for what it provides, I can say it is. I would probably put it at haha entertaining, even not if it's not so much the haha as it is the entertaining. And also,
it is
an impressive movie considering 2007 they made. The rendering of everything looks so good. The water looks
so real, which is
they really
shocking.
worked their asses off on that water, and it is like Tuesday still stands out. So and then again, technologically, I think it was one of those things that when it came out, it was a marvel, and I still look back and I go, wow, that's still impressive.
So you would say it's entertaining from a technical standpoint, which is a type of entertaining.
Yes, and again, I do like the kind of the organic feel of the characters interacting with each other in documentary style stuff.
And we do like a good trope subversion with the main character losing.
Yes. And actually, when you have what was his name? When he's showing off his trophies.
What, Chicken Joe? Oh no, the Dietrich Bader character.
Yes, the Dietrich Bader character. This is my lady Amy. Dirty girl.
Yeah.
And then there's just the mom. Hey, are you talking to your trophies again?
This movie should have been PG-13 so they could go a little bit farther, because the movie had some jokes where it's like, God, if you could push a little bit more, that would have been great. But yeah, I think haha entertaining is a fair place to put it for an entertaining movie. And look, what we talked about was so entertaining. Max made a little lion. What of the Legos. I totally didn't place a PNG of a Lego lion that I found.
Oh yeah, that's actually adorable. I was a great Lego kid. I did so much with Lego. But then I had this one. Then I brought my Legos to the boarding school, and then there was this one kid who could actually, like, I was very much
follow the
built by exactly. I was basically an instruction kid, and this guy was Emmett from the Lego movie at the end of it. Like, he was a master builder. A master builder. He just took a few pieces and out of super minimalistic shit built some kind of like futuristic looking hover jet thingy, and I'm like,
And did that make you be like, well, I guess it's time to put away my Lego now?
Nah, if I would have that mentality, then I would not do anything.
Well, maybe instead of a puzzle for your New Year's stream, you should put together a Lego set.
But
actually, no, Legos are expensive.
Oh, they are, and I had literal boxes, like big chests full of Lego, like 3 or 4, and I eventually gave them all to my nephews.
Aw, that's sweet. I remember being I was at the airport, like it was a connection flight to, I think I sent you a WhatsApp video of it. I wasn't in the Vegas. No, I was in the Vegas airport because there was a vending machine just for Lego sets.
Oh yeah.
These were like $60 Lego sets for like Venom's head. And I'm just wondering, who's spending $60 in a vending machine at an airport for Lego to then go on a plane? You can't put together Lego on plane. Like, I just want to know, who is the person who forgot about their kid's birthday that close to coming home from a business trip that's like, time for vending machine Lego? Like, I need to know. I never saw anyone actually buying anything out of that Lego machine. I saw people taking pictures of the Lego machine. Like me, I am part of the problem. But the existence of it must mean that someone does. And I need to know who.
You know what else I need to know?
Yeah?
Where does Princess and the Frog rank on this list? Because that's our next one!
A great transition. I'm sorry, Lego took up my brain. But
it does.
To put this in a place that people could see, obviously, not that it's going to go on there or something. I love Princess and the Frog. I mean, Tiana is my favorite Disney princess. She's tied with Moana. I love Tiana so much. I love the music. Everyone shits on Randy Newman because y'all are sheeple for the nostalgia critic. But I think Randy literally grew up in this area. He knows the music. It's fitting. Dr. Facilier is fantastic. I love
Keith David. Come on.
Naveen is a great Disney. Everything about this movie is great. It was like the last like big 2D film. Still kind of is.
I just want to point out.
Yeah.
Princess on the Frog lost on the first round in the Disney battle bracket.
Against what?
Take a guess.
Is it Encanto?
Yeah, it actually was Encanto.
Of course it was. But forgot the super chat noise was the macaroni and the chicken strips kid. Thank you, Netro, for the 6 Israeli currency. I forgot what you guys call it. Shekels? I really don't know what it is.
Oh.
What? You went ho? Like I said something bad. Or are you just looking at the Disney battle bracket? Like...
Sorry, what?
Okay, I was right. I was right. It is shekels. Pay attention to the conversation at hand, you monotasking person.
Do I have to?
You're part of the show. You're one of the 3 idiots. It's your one responsibility.
Oh, okay.
Who do you think the other idiot is? Eddie? He leaves halfway through the show.
Yeah, he does. Eddie, you still there? Or did we break him with Flushed Away?
But yeah, no, I think this goes in the millennium. I mean, it was from 2009, right? So it was right at the end of this first decade, and I think it was great. I do not think Squeak will deserve to overtake this at the box office, which makes me mad. But yeah, I think everything about this movie is fantastic. It would have fit perfectly into the Renaissance, so I don't know if anyone has any arguments for it to go below Millennium.
Nope. Making it easy, because I concur.
What about you, Max?
It didn't leave that big of an impression with me, but that probably rather disqualifies me to speak too much about it. I believe I only watched it once.
Wow.
And
Have you ever worked hard for something in your life that you would relate to Tiana?
Probably not.
Oh, see, that explains so much.
I associated most with the prince who comes in and then gets screwed over.
Oh, I don't know who screwed you over, but I out of all people, though, I would expect you to fall into the deal of a shadow man. Out of the 3 of us, I think you would actually follow someone into a dark alley because it's like, well, this looks interesting. And thank you, Lauren Token, for the 5 British pounds, saying Bolt is one of my favorite Disney Pixar dogs. Tito from Oliver and Company is your favorite. Aw, I like Tito. But yes, okay. So another one that may go on to the high echelon, Megamind, the winner of the DreamWorks battle brackets.
Whoop, whoop.
I love Megamind.
Megamind.
Me too.
Great.
I actually did rewatch it recently, and actually, it was one of the top trending movies on Netflix for a hot second.
Nice. Good.
It's still in the top 10. I think it's like number 5 right now. Number 2 is Bad Guys. Number 2 is Bad Guys, which
which was running at number 1 for a good minute there too.
I'm getting so tempted to get my
VPN back up and running.
VPN back, just so I can watch Bad Guys again.
I mean, if you ever want to watch, you could just text me and I'll turn it on. But yes, Megamind. I really think this is one of the strongest DreamWorks movies. It's such a good trope and version of the Superman tale. I don't think there's anything like super wrong with it. I think it ages like wine because it's all about presentation.
Yeah, presentation.
I think it's mid.
Max, we know this is a lie. You're not a good liar.
Yeah, but I want to see it. Like, I want to.
You want to put it with your other movie? You want to put it with your other movie you like so much?
No, it's funny because it's the winner of our battle bracket of the 3 of us, where we agreed that at least in this particular context, it was the best DreamWorks movie, and then just mid. So yeah, by the battle bracket alone, it should be at least it should be above any other DreamWorks movie on the list, which automatically makes it a millennial film, doesn't it?
It really does. I mean, also, if we go by cultural zeitgeist, not only did this meme provide us the visuals to penis music, with the fucking dancing in jail, but the villain predicted the death of the Queen of England.
Yep.
Also, yeah.
There is no
Tooth Fairy, there's no Easter Bunny, and there's no
Queen of England. Queen consort does not count.
This one kind of had to become true at some point, so
yeah, but
I want to hold back on granting it prophetic
status?
Qualities just yet.
Yeah,
Simpsons made some predictions that had. Yeah, Simpsons made some predictions that had no right to become true.
That is true. But, like, also, Megamind is on the top Tumblr sexy man list. Like, Megamind himself. Which I'm fine with.
So. Yeah.
Like, it's my favorite Will Ferrell performance, besides his villain in the Lego movie. And, come on, Brad Pitt as Metro Man, their chemistry is great. I love every character.
I love you, Metro Man, and I love you, Random
Citizen. I love Markiplier.
That's what I'm like, I was waiting for it. But yeah.
Will Ferrell, Tina Fey, and Markiplier saved the day from Jonah Hill. But yeah, I think this is a perfectly fine place to put it.
Yeah,
I totally forgot until I rewatched it recently that Ben Stiller was the voice of... Oh yeah,
is Bernard.
Yes, like when Bernard is himself, so...
Yeah. And, I mean, like... I love Bernard. Like, when Megamind is playing Bernard. He's so funny. Quick, use the night-night stick. There's just... the movie is so fucking funny! And Minion. Can't forget Minion. Minion is adorable.
And it's funny because that was 2010 when Despicable Me came out. So two different movies that had side characters that were called Minion.
Megamind's Minion is superior. Don't you equate Good Boy Minion, my good gorilla body boy, with those yellow Tic Tacs.
Do you hear me comparing? I just said they both came out, funnily enough, the same year.
I think if we replayed
Lord,
the clip...
I know that the DreamWorks one is better.
If we replayed the clip, I think I could hear Lauren saying, Minion from Megamind is exactly like the Minions from my favorite movie franchise of all time, Minions.
I recall her literally saying that.
Lauren is loving our gaslighting today.
Chad, do you also recall Lauren making this exact comparison earlier?
Yeah.
God, thanks.
Did Lauren say the Minions are her favorite thing ever? Yes.
God, I hate you guys.
No.
I mean, they're already typing yes and agreement in the chat.
I mean, like, look, I'm not saying that I made a poll. But yeah, so if it's any karma, Lauren, that makes you feel good. I feel awful right now, so does that help?
Principal!
Well, Yas is winning, so you know that they're...
Don't trust the MSM. And by MSM, I mean the one poll that's in this.
Do not trust the mainstream media. Fake news, says Lauren. Anyways. Okay, so this one may actually be a bit of a discussion. Toy Story 3. I think it's a film...
concentration camp one.
Yes, the concentration camp one. The one where they put Mr. Potato Head in Alcatraz, basically.
Where they basically mind fuck Buzz again.
I mean, Buzz just... That's just the running gag, is Buzz gets fucked in some kind of way in every film. Even Lightyear, which... How? But, yeah, so here's the thing. I think Toy Story 3 is definitely an emotional movie, but but if you take away the buildup of growing up with these movies, because it is a film that is what a millennial grew up with, or at least had in their adolescence. would it still be considered as good as it is without that previous build-up? I don't know if I could say yes. Because everyone cites the end where Andy's playing with the toys and then finally leaves, and Woody's like, so long, partner. Which did make me cry. I am part of this problem. Mm-hmm. But I think, like, does the rest of the film stand up on its own? I like Lotso. Lotso's a great villain until the end. Because I think him staying a villain was just kind of like, well, that was a waste. You redeemed worse people. I think Stinky Pete's better in that regard. He was just vile all the time.
Yeah, and yet you understood his justification for being like, even though he was a twisted villain, you understood why he was doing what he did. Because if you would be bitter too if you sat on a shelf and weren't bought by any kid and weren't desired by anybody. Like, that would make anybody bitter.
I mean, I am in the minority. I think Toy Story 4 is a better ending for the franchise than Toy Story 3. Come at me.
Oh, I'm with you.
Yeah! Well,
I did not care. I did not care for Toy Story 4.
What? It insists upon itself.
The only thing in Toy Story 4 where I'm really like, was it did Buzz a bad.
I mean, that one I could do with or without, but the Bo Peep and Woody stuff was genuinely very good. But we're not talking about that movie, because that came out in the 2010s.
Yeah. Also, I just realized, in this entire decade, there was only one of the middle Toy Story movies.
Well, yeah, because Toy Story 2 came out in 99, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
yep.
So that puts it before. Then we have this one, Square, in this decade. And then... 4 actually being surprisingly recently.
While we wait for Tom Hanks to make Toy Story 4. But yeah, I think it's a great watch, but I don't think I would put it as millennium films as some people would do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm with you.
I think the second one, it's funny because it's kind of like in the Shrek regard, where the second one, I feel like, because they'd established the rules of the universe and they fleshed it out with characters that really built up on like, I guess you could say, the lore of how toys work. They did that better once the second one came around. Also, you got Al's Toy Barn and all that kind of. I got to drive all the way to work on a Saturday. All the way to work.
It's very unfair when you have a film as good as Toy Story 2, which I think won our Pixar battle brackets. So, like, and then being the follow-up to that, like, visually, Toy Story 3, of course, succeeds in every way, because Toy Story 3 looks great. And Toy Story 3 has Barbie and Ken. I love Barbie and Ken. Like, those were the best addition to Toy Story 3, because those
Michael
two were
Keaton
great.
as Ken was honestly
you got
I didn't
Batman
think would work.
and Ariel being the only good straight version of this couple, because we know that in every other iteration, Barbie is Ken's beard, but in this, I believe they're in love.
And he's nice ascot.
But may I draw your attention to this milestone that we just reached?
And that would be?
By putting, successfully placing Toy Story 3 in the battle bracket, we are now officially in the second half of this stream. We just finished the 23rd out of 45 movies.
I think the rest of these will go quickly.
They definitely will. No doubt about it. We will super duper speed up from here.
Yeah, because I feel like some of these are a lot faster than the others, especially these next 3. We got through some. We got through some heavy hitters with this first half.
Yeah, can we actually like shuffle the Ice Age movies to be in order, because I feel
I couldn't tell which. This shows how much I.
So
remember when I said I didn't watch something?
The third image is the first one. And then the second one is let me see. Yeah, that's the Meltdown, right? Is the second one. Yeah. And then, Dawn of the Dinosaurs is the third one.
Okay.
So wait, is the first one actually the first one?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh! Because I don't know it with this, okay, then I
know that poster anywhere.
Okay, remember when I said that I didn't watch something? I have not seen any sequels to the Ice Age movies. I've seen the first Ice Age, and that's it. I've seen parts of the other Ice Age movies, but I'm flipping. That's very fitting that I'm sick right now. The only other times I've seen Ice Age movies was when I was sick in bed as a kid and I was surfing the TV, and then there would be part of an Ice Age movie. I've seen halves of Ice Age movies.
I guess to argue that I still think that the first one is the best one in the entire
it
line.
is.
So, and this is coming from somebody who has seen the series. So,
but yeah, then I guess let's talk about the first one, and then Lauren, you have the floor to rank the remaining two.
Yeah, because I
would put Dawn of the Dinosaurs, before the meltdown.
So yeah, but I think the first Ice Age is a solid movie. I think as like Ice, I think it's pretty okay. I like the whole the Mammoth's whole thing with losing his family. I mean, that is a strangely common theme in animation. But and also Ice Age Baby, very disturbing meme, honestly. The amount of people who's just described in detail how they violently want to hurt this baby online.
I'm like, why?
Are you okay? But overall,
fine.
I think that's the thing. Ice Age is a good movie with characters that shouldn't have been a franchise. Like, these were good.
Like, it's a good standalone film. Like, if you just kept it at that one, that would have been nice.
For the longest time. Before some executive was like, hey, we need a new IP to bring to milk. Or existing IP to milk.
Wasn't this the only Blue Sky franchise besides Rio?
I believe so, something like it.
Yes, and this was their first feature film, because before that they really did like short films and commercial work, but that was their first feature.
Yeah, good film to put yourself on the map.
Oh yeah.
And hey,
but how good are we talking?
It helped finance a bunch of. I think it's at least haha entertaining. I don't know if I would put it in Great Watch personally.
Yeah, I would say haha entertaining.
Yeah. At the time, it was pretty great, but I dare to say that from today's standards, it doesn't hold up as well anymore, because it's very, very simplistic. Its age works against it. At the time, it was like the shit. Like everybody needed to go into the cinema and watch
Everyone needed to see the funny Scrat.
Exactly.
Yes. And everyone wanted to see if the squirrel got his nut. And
he
eventually
finally did when they closed the studio.
Yeah, he finally got his... That clip hurt.
Yeah.
Being that Blue Sky was the only East Coast animation studio, that hurt.
Oh yeah.
But okay.
Hey, Lauren, tell us.
Lauren, it's all up to you, because I haven't seen either of these.
Same here. Tell us how developed it.
Meltdown is meh, I would say. I mean, you get the introduction of more characters now, and there is a little bit more. They obviously try to flesh out with the world with the is Manny the last mammoth? Is he the last of his kind? But then wouldn't you know it, he ends up meeting one other mammoth who's being raised by possums, and so she thinks she's a possum. So I'm like, well, I mean, and then it's not like a bad thing or anything, it's just kind of a meh, whatever. And spoiler alert, he's not the last mammoth, obviously. Neither is she. So, but I will say Dawn of the Dinosaurs brought us Buck Wild, who is a very entertaining character. And we do have the whole thing of where Manny, now that he's with Ellie, the mammoth from the second movie, and they're going to start a family, and so he's expecting a kid, and he's all he's kind of going into panicked dad mode, dad to be. And I think it's rather wholesome, because this is, especially when you put into context that, he had a family once and he lost that he's kind of going to be extra protective of his wife and his upcoming kid, right? So it's it puts it in a lot more perspective. So I would say, and I got a lot more laughs out of Dawn of the Dinosaur, so I would say it's haha entertaining, honestly. I wouldn't even say it's mid. It actually has a little bit more redeeming qualities in it. And then anything after that, I don't really talk about.
But I'm positively surprised. I did not expect
I
that
may actually have to watch Dawn of the Dinosaurs.
And again, Buck Wild is Simon Pegg. So
now I have to.
Okay,
Simon Pegg's a great selling.
I couldn't have opened with that.
Yeah,
he has this ongoing fight with this one dinosaur. He's named Rudy. Sorry, and it's really funny because again, he's just like this. Because he spends so much time by himself, he's absolutely insane. So his performance is wonderful, absolutely wonderful. So, yeah.
Now, here's another curious question: is there a bad Simon Pegg role, film, whatever?
Oh, I'm sure that there is. He's been in so much.
I mean, by mere probability, there must be, right?
There must be. I mean,
the funny thing is that I haven't seen Luck, but he was the cat in Luck.
Oh, okay. So he was in the horrendously boring movie.
How was he in it?
I mean, I'm sure he was fine. Like, it's a thing. Is there a bad Simon Pegg role by virtue of being in a shitty movie? Because you could count some of the Mission Impossibles in that case. Or is it bad because he put in a bad performance, which would be never. He puts his whole Simon Pegg-ussy into every role that he does. But yeah. Okay, back to DreamWorks. Over the Hedge, the film that apparently beat the Prince of Egypt in our battle bracket. I don't remember why.
I'm not sure how that happened. I don't remember how that happened.
That's something that happened in a fugue state.
But I think this one got better. It was another one that kind of got better with age. Like, I feel like it wasn't appreciated enough when it came out. And I think there's a lot to say. It has a lot of commentary to actually make. I didn't process as a kid. Now I go, oh wow.
Story.
Yeah.
Ben Folds does the music, which automatically makes it a great movie. But I also it did the liar reveal thing so well by just having the characters forgive Bruce Willis so fast, with like during the car chase of like, oh, I'm sorry, oh okay, and then they lower the window so he could come in, which. In most cases, that would be lazy, but it worked. Like, there's so many things.
Especially when you consider that the reason that he lied to them and all is because, oh yeah, a bear's going to freaking kill me if I don't do this. They're like, we get it.
There's so much in that movie that shouldn't work, but does. Like, Hammy should be the most annoying piece of shit of all time.
But I do like the cookie.
But he's funny as fuck. I love Steve Carell Hammy.
Didn't he originate like Hammy doing the whole, because he's so fast that when he can just, it's that whole slow down time to like walk normally while everything else is frozen around him.
Yeah,
like,
he just
pulling up
Quicksilvers.
moves or Quicksilvers. It was like
he just Quicksilvers from X-Men's them. But like, I
love this movie. It was my favorite movie for the longest time in the 2000s. I had it on DVD and watched it up and down. I loved listening to the audio commentary, how they were like, make it bigger, make it bigger.
Yeah,
for all the shenanigans.
For the chip explosion. Like, that is this movie. This movie was make it big, make it loud. Make it big and loud. And
of course, Bruce Willis versus Nick Nolte.
That's great. I love the fucking Exterminator is the funniest villain. I love him. Like, when he just sniffs the air and he can tell what a turtle is. Like, he is terrifying to animals, but he's hilarious to humans.
I mean, I would even maybe put it in a Millennium film. Right?
I mean, like, it's at least a great watch. That's just where I have it right now.
Okay.
I think it could go up there. It's definitely, like Megamind, it gets better with age.
With the Spuddies, enough just isn't enough.
And I think,
unlike Ice Age, which was fantastic at its time, but didn't age well, I dare to say Over the Hedge still is a fantastic, hilarious ride nowadays.
Yeah, and I think, like, I mean, also stacked cast, because you got Bruce Willis, Steve Carell, William Shatner.
Oh yeah, right.
Avril Lavigne.
As a possum, which is the best cast.
Wanda Sykes.
Wanda Sykes, Eugene Levy,
Catherine
O'Hara,
Eugene Levy,
Allison Janney, Thomas Hayden Church as Dwayne LaFont. Like, it's
because Thomas Hayden Church was the Verminator. That's his.
Yes, he's the Verminator, which is Dwayne LaFont.
Yes.
He's so fucking funny. I mean, you can't get better when you have the fucking Sandman.
The angry lady was Allison Janney. That's what we just.
Yeah, it's such a good cast. It's a great movie. This movie wasn't made for kids. It was made for kids to have it plant into their brains, and then when they become adults, they go back to this for comfort.
It's based on a comic strip, which is also was never for kids, I dare to say.
Yeah, like this is great. This is a good movie, especially when you were, like, if you were me and you were basically a teen when this came out. This is the perfect movie for you. Go against the system. Okay, so this is gonna be a film that I'm probably gonna have to come to bat for. Blue Sky's Robots. Fucking love this movie. People who don't like it are mean people.
I think it's a very inventive film. I think the humor is really good in it too. And casting was great for it as well. I don't know. It's just like, and honestly, the animation still stands.
Yes, I love this movie. I think it has a great message of, like, reusing stuff and the whole, like, thing of always having to upgrade to the better thing, and how, like, this movie is an anti-capitalist movie, essentially. And
I really need to rewatch it.
It's so funny. Like, the amount of times that I quote the scene when Rodney, sorry, I'm looking at Flushed Away. When Rodney and Robin Williams are in the whole, like, ball thing going across the city, and, like, they stop for a moment, they're like,
oh, the hammer.
You know, it used to be worse. They used to have a giant hammer. Oh, look, they brought it back. That is peak comedy. Like, you can't have Robin Williams in a movie and it not be hilarious. Especially,
I know, the city like the back of my hand. Oh, hey, that's new.
That's new. Like, he's so funny in this movie. Like, I think this is it's at least a memorable movie. At least to me. But I grew
Jennifer
up with
Coolidge is Aunt Fanny.
I mean, like, why do you like it? Well, I'm a big guy, so... Mel Brooks is fucking Big Will. Like, this movie... And even McGregor is the main character, which is fantastic. Like, there's so much about this movie that's just good. So, I don't know if I would put it in Millennium, but
I'll put in Great Watch for sure.
I think it's a great
lower.
watch. I think it's solidified the humor of Blue Sky. Because I feel like you can watch Robots and then you can watch something like Spies in Disguise or Rio and you can be like, yeah, that's Blue Sky kind of humor. So I think that, like, Ice Age put Blue Sky on the map, but I think Robots defined what Blue Sky is, which is something that is, like, flavored a bit more esoterically than the rest of the movie studios at the time.
Okay, easy choice. Next one, Millennium film. Hands down.
No, dude, we've talked about Emperor's New Groove so often on this fucking show.
I'm like, do we even need to say anything
what else
new
can
about
be
it?
said? I mean, we put
it won, didn't it?
It yeah. I think it won Best Disney. We put Yzma in Legends. We've always, this film is just one of our favorites, and for good reason. It is the most anti-Disney movie that's a Disney movie. I mean, very fitting with Bolt being the other thing there, but and Atlantis. Like, besides Princess of the Frog, all of these are so Disney contemporary, but Emperor's New Groove is the funniest Warner Brothers movie to come out of Disney ever.
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
I love Emperor's New Groove. It's one of my favorites. And I know it's Max. I think Max, it is your favorite Disney movie.
I guess it still is. I would wait. I can just open the Disney bracket and look at it. But it won the big Disney bracket even against the secret challenger.
Yeah.
If you haven't watched it, audience, go back, watch the trilogy of the Disney bracket. Jesus, it was three streams.
It was 3 streams. There's a lot of Disney.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, there was a secret challenger.
Which was Chicken Little.
Now it's your views you are just losing here. I'm sending them back to watch your videos.
Yes, because they're going to watch 3 hours
to build up to that.
But yeah, it's one of my favorites. It's at least one of my favorites. I love Emperor's New Groove so much.
It's pretty groovy. Groovy. No wait, I can't do a good couscous. Cusco.
Cusco doesn't say groovy.
He doesn't. He just says groove.
That's Evil Dead 2.
Oh.
That's Bruce Campbell, and we already talked about Cloudy. Wow! That's not even the right studio.
And next one, another easy one here, guys. No contest.
I feel Lilo and Stitch is gorgeous. I love Lilo and Stitch.
It's time to cry.
It's time. Who's ready to cry? Who's ready to laugh? And who's ready to cry?
Ready to cry.
Because man, I love Disney and a big sister taking over, being the parent to a little sister and constant fears of the CPS and losing their job and Jesus Christ. Like when you grow up, this movie just gets sad.
It hits hard.
It's a beautiful looking movie. I wish they kept some of the deleted scenes they were planning to keep in, which was Lilo fucking with tourists, because that's a great message. Like, hey, white people, stop fucking with Hawaii.
That is a tsunami siren. If you hear, it's like run and just clear out of here. You hear that? That is your only warning. Tourists, prepare to die.
Lilo is one of the best kid acting performances too. Like, I think that goes without saying. She's a fantastic character, and like, she's fantastic because she's just annoying enough to be a believable like 5-year-old. Like, she's a little kid, and I absolutely adore it. I love Lilo and Stitch. Do we have any arguments for it being in Millennium?
Nope. I mean, against.
Yeah, that's... Shut up, I'm sick.
Nah. I mean, once again, it's one of those movies that I have watched only once, so I feel unqualified to talk too much about it. So
you should watch it again. It's good.
I probably should, yeah. So yeah, I will not fight the trend.
Home on the Rage. I don't think this got on the bracket. Let alone.
Oh, did it get killed in the preliminaries?
Yeah, because it was like the not princess movies or something. Like, this is... look, man. It's not good.
Yeah, I'm like... I remember rewatching it, I think, was it last year? 2 years? 2 years ago, I think. And I remember enjoying it more than I thought it would, but does that really save it? No. And like, clearly a lot of work went into, like, it's a 2D animated film. So, I mean, it's like, and I do like the character design stuff, like the aesthetic, but at the end of the day, it still sells, it's as like a kid's play barn kind of thing, you know, where it's like a very much a child aesthetic movie.
It was Disney making a kids movie, which is its biggest failure, is that it didn't make just a movie, like, because that's how Disney movies succeed. They're movies that are good for kids, but everyone can like them. Like, we're fully grown, like 20 to 30 somethings, and we will sit down and watch a Disney movie.
I will say though that the yodeling song
on the Range.
The yodeling song is catchy as hell though.
What have we monsters done?
What did we do?
So in the preliminary, because I wanted to see what happened to Home on the Ranch in the preliminaries, we put it up against Lilo and Stitch.
Wow, we were mean.
But then we had this particular preliminary be battled out between Goofy Movie, Bold, New Emperor's New Groove, and Lilo and Stitch. So there were some brutal massacres in the preliminaries of fantastic movies.
I want to just say, you set up the preliminaries. You were the bully.
I did, didn't I?
Yeah.
You did this.
You did this.
I murdered Bold.
But here's the thing. Do we put it in should not exist or meh? Because I don't think
I haven't watched it.
I don't think it's an offense against cinema like
No.
Shrek the Third. I just think it exists.
Meh. It exists, and you know what? And I will say Jennifer Tilly as Grace, if I remember.
Yeah, she's adorable.
She's cute.
But Jennifer Tilly is great in everything. She's what
that's what I'm saying. Like,
she's what makes Bride of Chucky good. Like, I love Jennifer Tilly. All right,
so that's like,
now
if anything, she's the saving grace, because her character's named Grace.
All right, we're getting into the home stretch. So, Monsters Inc. Come on now. Come on. I think there's... Is there a disagreement here?
I don't think so.
I love Monsters Inc. What about you, Max?
I'm
Put that
feeling...
thing back where it came from, or so help me.
I mean, this, at least, I have seen multiple times, so I don't feel like out of my...
Come on, let's have some drama. Let's have some arguments. I feel like you don't think it's a Millennium film.
I don't think it's a millennial film. It's hard to say for me, because a millennial film over a great watch needs to be something that's a game changer, that leaves a big lasting impact, and despite the fact that Monsters Inc. was an animation milestone, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, with the hair rendering, because if we didn't have this hair rendering on Sully, we wouldn't have Violet's hair in Incredibles.
Yeah. So yeah, from a technological point of view, absolute milestone. Great, definitely not arguing for below a great watch. So it was, one of. Wait, is it? It's Pixar, right?
It is Pixar.
Yeah, it's too good to be not regular Disney. So yeah, it was a Pixar golden age where they couldn't do any wrong. Like unironically, because they just produced only good movies.
It was oops all bangers for years.
The longest time. Yes, and this was square in that area. And yeah, a lot of fantastic stuff in it, but for some reason it didn't click to that degree with me. But I don't have anything valid argument-wise against it, so let it shine up there.
Well, I guess let's look at it in comparison to the other films we put in this echelon is the thing.
Or maybe let's compare it to stuff in Great Watch and see if it deserves to be above all of them.
Because, I mean, I love Monsters, Inc. I think it's a great message. Sully and Boo's relationship is one of the most adorable things. And it has a great twist villain with Waternoose actually supporting Randall.
Yes, this was twist before Pixar just ran the twist to turn twist villain into a trope that they just do in every movie.
Yeah, I will kill that 1,000 children before I let this company
die.
So, yeah, that was one that actually was a twist.
I understand where you're coming from with why it didn't click with you, but I think I don't know. I think this movie is one of the best that the decade had to offer. Because I think it had it's just so solid. I don't think of anything particularly wrong with it.
Exactly.
That's it. That's the thing with all these movies that are on the top. With these movies that are in the great watch list, I can think of something to critique with it. With these, I don't have notes. And I don't have notes with Monsters Inc. I don't know how I would have made it better.
It's well paced. The characters are really likable. Again, great twist. Great message. and the jokes that I like how much they'll lean into the monster-based stuff and tropes and have that be part of their business. And I love the way that the system of scaring that they have, which is pretty cool.
I like the twist that laughter is more potent than screams.
But yeah, I mean, Lauren, the point you just made, trope aversion, not aversion, trope. When it surprises you by doing it differently. Aversion?
Yeah.
So great point for it. And if we go by the definition for the Millennium movie, like stuff where you don't have anything to criticize in a sincere way, then it deserves its place up there. I'm with you guys.
Yeah. Well, this one I think we can also agree is Pixar just hitting the 1-2 punch. Films I do not have notes for. The Incredibles is a perfect...
films.
I mean, I guess I should grab the other Brad Bird one for later. But Incredibles is just fantastic.
Yes.
It's the perfect superhero movie because it's not a superhero movie. It's a family movie, in that it's a movie about family, not it's a family film.
And so quotable.
Syndrome was a great villain too.
You know, I was gonna have it was gonna stand for babysitter, but then I would have a giant BS on my chest.
Yes, and you understand I couldn't go.
I know that's from the short. I do not care. But it's such
It took place within the span of the film.
I
would say the time.
It's so good. Yeah. I love Bob. Bob is the best hero's journey. The family all is identifiable. Syndrome is a fantastic villain, and again, a great twist of like, well,
I am your biggest fan.
When I was a kid and I heard that part, I was like, wait, that's Buddy? Like, what the fuck? I obviously didn't say fuck because that was a bad word.
You were a little baby Chrissy in Bible Belt, but...
so, no, at this point, Incredibles probably came out when I was still living. What year did Incredibles come out, Lauren?
2004.
I would have still been in New York, so I was a little baby in liberal New York. Still not allowed to say curse words because I was a good Christian kid raised by Catholics that cursed. Hypocritical, but that's the Catholic way.
It's funny because it's true.
But I lost all my Catholic demographic, like 2.
You had? You had them?
I don't know, maybe guilty ones. But no, Incredibles is just so good. The music's great. It looks great. Like, personally, I like how Incredibles 1 looks. Like, Incredibles 2 obviously looks more rendered because, well, it's a movie made with current technology. But I think the stylization of it works better with the limited graphics with the first movie. Like, I think the visuals still hold up, except for Violet's boyfriend.
I'm glad that he got the movie. I'm glad he got updated.
But the movie's just perfect. It's like it's the closest you can get to a perfect Pixar movie, with the exception of the other Brad Bird movie.
My personal favorite of the Pixar lineup.
The Ratatouille, the rat of all our dreams. Look. We had this argument during the battle brackets because I know that at some point we were arguing about Ratatouille.
Probably.
But I can't think of anything wrong with Ratatouille. It is the film made for artists and critics of artists. Like, to me, I think it's the same kind of good of Incredibles, but with a different genre of film. Because it's obviously, you know, besides the rats having a language of their own and a rat wanting to cook, it's not a very fantastical movie. Like, right. It's low fantasy. But, like, it's just so classically good. And I love it. It looks delicious. I want to eat everything that Remy cooks.
I did try Ratatouille after seeing Ratatouille, and I hadn't had it before that movie, and I did, and I loved it. So
I love how so many people were disappointed that it wasn't a meat dish when they found out.
Yeah. Sorry, folks, it's all vegetables.
Yeah,
oops, all veggies.
Which I mean makes me like it more. I love my veggies. But
and especially because it's almost like a stew, depending on how you make it, because it's so saucy.
The scene of the critic eating the ratatouille and having the memory is one of the best scenes Pixar's ever made. Because everyone has had that moment, I think.
It's that capturing of, it's nostalgia.
That moment of pure nostalgia, going back to childhood and embracing that. I think that and the critic's speech at the end of the movie are two of the best scenes Pixar has ever done. And I think those are things that people need to analyze and take something out of it for their real life, which I think that's the thing. Ratatouille has real life application. And you know, everyone can do something and all that. Like, I think it is like a defining film of like Pixar's career. Because I think that was the film, especially to come after something like Cars. I think it was that film to define of what is the lengths Pixar can do. Because it was such a, you know, compared to living toys and cars and superheroes, something so out of pocket for really any of the studios, with the exception of literal Bible. That I think like that's what makes it unequivocally a Millennium film compared to the other ones. It's just, it was able to do something other animated films weren't really given the freedom to do, which is be grounded in reality. I mean, the most grounded reality is that the restaurant closed because of rats.
And then Gusto gets criticized once, fucking dies.
Rats, we are the rats. But do I hear any arguments, or did I make a good case?
Absolutely zero arguments. It is my
I know that Ratatouille doesn't resonate as much with you, Max, as it does with me and Lau.
Being the imagination-free dull boy over here, but no, I like it. It's a good movie. I mean, I watched Schifferla's entire take on why it is basically the magnum opus of Pixar. Was it magnum opus?
Yes.
He used one of the big words.
He used one of the big boy words that is usually scary for me.
Exactly.
Okay, so, I'm just gonna put this here for now. Horton,
the funny thing is that it's actually the best of the Seuss movies.
It is. Of the animated Seuss movies, it is. What does that say about the animated Seuss movies?
Wait, you say it's even better than the Grinch?
Yes, because you're the only one who likes the animated Grinch
I say
movie.
You're going. I'm seething at the fact that it was like that it was like that the Grinch movie had the success that it did, because I went in there and I'm like, this isn't a Grinch, this is just Squidward and green.
It is really just green Squidward.
But as a non-American who didn't grow up with Grinch as a quintessential Christmas movie, it was like, Squidward and green was fun.
Yeah, you related to him just being kind of a agitated, like, first world problem boy.
Yeah.
But they really should have kept his design that is, you know, more true to the song lyrics, you know, where he had nasty teeth and he's just a stinky rat boy.
Yeah, he's way too clean.
He had perfect straight white teeth.
Lauren, I don't think Illumination can render stinky. Even their rats were clean.
Yeah, I mean, isn't Illumination all about making everything as cookie cutter, clean, and unoffensive as possible? Isn't this their entire brand?
Yeah, so they couldn't make a stinky Grinch.
Funny thing is
they yassified the Grinch, Lauren.
They had concept art that very much leaned into the original animated short, like into looking more like the twisted grin of Chuck Jones.
At least we know that they didn't yassify Bowser, so he's still stinky looking.
Yes,
I have to remind myself that that's an Illumination film.
Illumination, yeah.
It looks. I'm genuinely I'm very excited for the Mario movie.
But Horn Hears a Who, like, it's fine. It's inoffensive. It is violently inoffensive, which I could actually say is better than the Illumination Dr. Seuss movies, which completely miss the point of their original books. This one at least gets it right. I mean, yes, there is an anime scene in there that did not need to be there. But, you know, it's fine. Jim Carrey and Steve Carell, it's a good combo.
And it's funny because that was not the first time they'd worked together. Bruce Almighty. So, I mean...
Yeah, but, like, I mean, when I watch this movie, I'm like, hey, you know what's a good movie? Bruce Almighty. Let me go turn that on instead. But, like, it's fine. I honestly may put it in mid, because it's just violently okay.
And there's some good stuff about it. And obviously, again, it's, of all the animated Seuss movies, it's the most true to its source material.
Yeah. So I don't know if you saw this one, Max.
Nope.
Yeah. So, mid.
I'm actually pretty proud how many of the low-tier movies I did not see.
Be proud. You saved time off your life.
Yes. I mean, looking through it, the only highest movies I truly missed out on were were in Haha Entertaining, as in Cars, and and the Surf Up is also there. But yeah.
But yeah,
there's just a handful up there. Nothing above it that I missed out on so far. Hopefully this doesn't change.
But yeah, so Laura, do you agree? Mid?
Yeah, I agree.
Nice. All right. At least. I'm putting my foot down. At least great watch. I love Road to El Dorado so much. My taste in men got defined by Road to El Dorado. Like,
mighty and powerful.
I saw it by Basil.
Well, I'm just saying, for humans, Max, for humans. Tulio is violently my type, and I'm not proud of that. But it's such a funny movie. And it's so good considering how much executive meddling happened with it. Like, apparently this movie was not a pleasant experience to work on, but it made a pleasant movie.
You know, that's funny because the same could be said about The Emperor's New Groove with how much of a mess their production was too to get to the point that they did.
Yeah.
So,
like, I don't see, if this was only me, I will put this in Millennium because I think it's a hilarious movie. But I have notes, which puts it down to great watch. There's a few things that the priest could have done anything. There's a little bit more I would have done to minimize the white savior complex of the movie in retrospect.
Oh, yeah, good point actually.
Even though honestly, the village kind of saved Tulio and Miguel, like opened Miguel's eyes up to not want to be a thief, so they saved him more than they saved the village. But you know, there is a bit of that complex going on, which in retrospect is kind of, this could have been handled better. But then you have to remember this was a film from the 2000s. They didn't even know how to handle gay people right until, well, still not ever. So it's a thing of the times, but I still think it's great. It's a hilarious movie, and it's very quotable. Like, come on, you fight like my sister. I have fought with your sister. That is a compliment. I mean, and Tulio and Miguel are like a perfect duo. Chell is great. I mean, Road to Chell Dorado, am I right?
Taking off their shirts. Do you mind? No. Oh, sorry.
Do you mind? No.
No. Oh,
just put my head right there, and that is me. But I mean, it's tough to be a god. The soundtrack's great. I mean, you got
Elton John, baby. And like, it's tough to be a god is one of my favorite songs to come out of an animated movie. It's a great song. It is my energy. So yeah, I think great film is fair. And there is no arguments. So great film is where you stay. Yes. Okay. This one, I think we know where. Well, I know. I've never seen it. I don't think I'm kind of iffy on it. The first open season should have existed. So I'm gonna leave that there.
Now we have a difficult one.
Okay, the first
one is good, actually.
The first one is good, but you know how we have our catchphrase of "this thing walk so stuff could run"? What do we do when it spawns bad things?
Well, the thing... Are we really going to judge it on what it spawned? Because when you look at... I still am able to watch the first Despicable Me and enjoy it a lot. So, like, it's still a very heartfelt story. I think, like, his dynamic with the girls Gru's dynamic with the girls is so sweet. And,
it is a cute movie. Like, I'm not... Like, jokes aside, the first Despicable Me is a very solid movie. There's a reason it went up against Megamind.
Mm-hmm. And Vector is an enjoyable villain
Andrew
too,
from
just
Big
because
Mouth is a very enjoyable villain. He's shaped like fucking John Mulaney's character from Big Mouth, and someone pointed it out to me, and now I can't unsee it, and I hate it.
And it's even funnier that it's implied that Vector never got off the moon at the end. He's just I'm like, oh, that man is dead.
I mean, he never comes back.
Neither does the one minion that goes floating into space with the anti-gravity serum. So
but there's the implication that minions are immortal, so...
Yeah, but I mean, just think he's out there still floating.
Minions are basically eldritch beings.
He'll go find Space Hitler or something and help him out. Like, I'm sure they'll figure something.
I
never saw the Minions movie. Did they ever say if the Minions helped Hitler in World War II?
No, they basically went into hiding because they kind of secluded themselves because after years and years and years of failure of trying to follow, leaders and their leaders dying and stuff like that, they were kind of dejected and they isolated themselves to like Siberia or wherever to like basically mourn the fact that they could not like keep following people and have them die. So
yeah, but wouldn't it have been funny to find out that the minion is the person who killed Archduke Franz Ferdinand? Like, I want that universe.
Yeah, but I mean, again, that's what. But I mean, you know what? That's how they wrote around the questionable part of who they could have followed. So
that is true. That is true. But given that minions fuck everything up, I mean, honestly, they could have said that like they somehow saved from World War II. Either way, I think this is at least a haha entertaining movie.
Yeah, that would probably be the lowest I would put it because I still do enjoy it for what it is.
And these two, I don't think it's definitely not a Millennium film, but it's one of these.
No. I went back many times rewatching it. Obviously not as much as Megamind, because Megamind should have won this big duel of the protagonist supervillains. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I would also, I would not be against putting it in Great Watch, but yeah, minimum haha entertainment.
I think it's solid enough. I mean, obviously, it must have been solid enough to spawn what it has.
Marketable enough, at least.
Yeah.
To small children and
it's so fluffy.
Grandparents on Facebook. Oh yeah, it's so fluffy, I couldn't hide!
Like, the girls are adorable in this movie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because in this first movie, the focus was still on Gru and the girls, and not the TikToks.
Like, this movie... The TikTok... You mean the Tic Tacs?
Those two.
TikToks did not exist yet. This is the 2000s. YouTube.
I have the theory that the minions from Incredibles are also responsible for the existence of TikTok.
The minions from Incredibles.
Small... Yes. What?
You said the minions from Incredibles.
I mean, those guys are also pretty cool. They are never referred to as minions, but no, they have this super generic 80s Bond villain outfits. I love those.
Esther, we all know this one's a Millennium
There's no
film.
disagreement here. The first the entire Kung Fu Panda franchise is in Millennium, if I could put it in there.
Counterpoint. It shouldn't exist. It's too good. It raised the bar too high.
It raised...
I'm like, I'm sitting here go on.
Go on.
Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty strong point, I think.
I mean, like, I'm sorry, you're too good, so you shouldn't exist.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, because you know what? Anybody looking at this tier list later is going to read that the wrong way. They're not going to hear your justification on it. So, no, we're keeping it in this.
Their ears are going to ring with rage before you get to your explanation. But no. Great movie. No notes.
Yeah.
It's so good. The only thing that makes me mad is that your arcade game at Dave & Buster's is fucking cheap.
Here.
Yeah.
Okay. Here is an argument. Here is an argument.
Okay.
If we put Kung Fu Panda in millennial films, how? I mean, I know that that it is not part of this list because it came later, but how do we even distinguish the step that is Kung Fu Panda 2, the step above Kung Fu Panda that is Kung Fu Panda 2?
The Millennium Plus 10 movie because this
is before. This is 2010 before.
I know. Yeah. Just saying that's
mind you, the second didn't come till 2011.
My only note about Kung Fu Panda is that Kung Fu Panda 2 was even better.
I know, but that's just the thing.
That's not within this bracket, though.
Yeah, but genuinely, my only note would have been the villain is underdeveloped, but I rewatched it recently. I really liked the villain, and for all we know, who knows what they're gonna build on with the rest of the franchise. So I think they gave us just enough with the villain for this movie, and then the second movie has the best villain of the entire franchise. Don't at me.
Yeah.
I mean, what is there competition for that statement?
I mean, there's some people who I know prefer the villain from the third movie,
like Kai.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
I mean, I don't trust them, but there's some people that do. But
he's not a horrible villain.
All the villains in Kung Fu Panda are good. It's just a battle within themselves. But look, if Kung Fu Panda 2 was on the list, it would just be closer to the front.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Meet the Robinsons. God, Meet the Robinsons is hard.
Yep.
I like the movie, but God, it's a flawed movie.
Oh yeah. Would you say it's like a haha entertaining because it does?
It's at least haha. I would not put it below haha entertaining.
Yeah, that would have been my point.
I know some people who despise Meet the Robinsons, and I don't exactly understand their point.
I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of it. So hi, Max, my name. No, but I can see that it has a lot of funny stuff going on with it. It has some original stuff which puts it above mid, but I'm not sure it has too much random bullshit with the family going on to put it into a great watch, because it grinds a little bit.
That's the thing stopping me, because they have great ideas, but they only apply themselves to half of those. Because I would love to know what's up with the rest of the family. I would love a TV show of Meet the Robinsons just so we could meet the family.
Maybe, yeah. That could maybe get me on board as well.
I love, but the good stuff in this movie is good. I love the world. The future world looks so nice. It gives
the message of the film is really nice too.
One of the best messages. Keep moving forward is great. They touched upon how hard it is for children past a certain age to get adopted, which I did not think Disney would go that far, but they demystify it a lot. They're like, hey, once a child is past 10 or 11, they are so not likely to get adopted and stay in the foster system, which is wow, that's sad. Bowler Hat Guy is fantastic. I mean, we talked about Bowler Hat Guy a lot in the villains thing, about him not really being a villain, but also being hilarious and very tragic, of him just
a victim
away.
Of circumstances, really.
I will be honest, when they did the scene in the movie where they were like, Bowler Hat Guy, you can get adopted by the family, and they turn around and he's just gone. That hit really hard. That was sad. He just accepts his actions. And I'm happy that he gets an actual happy ending at the end with Goob getting adopted. But, when there's funny jokes, there's, the jokes are, when they hit, they hit. Hey, Goob, cool binder. They all hated me. Why is the dog wearing glasses? Well, because he doesn't like contacts. Like there's so much good in the film, but the flaws are also so bad that it just kind of middles out to
So was it them popping up out of the toilet? This isn't the garage. I know.
I love the chemistry between the main character and Wilbur, the grandson. His future son.
His future son.
Yeah, I think there's just so much good to it.
Wilbur, you're my dad. Boogie woogie.
What does he look like? Tom Selleck, and then he's voiced by Tom Selleck, which is great. I wish the movie was better because there's so much I like about it. It's such a great idea of a movie that I'm like, man, I wish you were made a little bit later. You know, when things improved a bit. Because this movie came out before Bolt, to my knowledge. Because it was
2006.
Chicken Little, then Meet the Robinsons, then Bolt. Meet the Robinsons is the middle child. And I just wish it was better. But I think it's at least, in the echelon of these things of, it's still a very cute movie, so. All right. Sinbad. Speaking of movies that are extremely flawed. Okay. Did you see Sinbad, Max?
I saw it once, long ago. I have very fuzzy memories.
Okay. Do we need to bring back your Lego?
I'm almost done with this drawing at this rate.
But look. There's a lot of good ideas in Sinbad. There's some great visuals in Sinbad. The villain is really cool. I like how she looks, how she talks. She's hot as
Michelle
hell.
Pfeiffer is just
played
golden.
by Michelle Pfeiffer. I cannot stand Sinbad himself in this movie.
Would you argue that it's mid if it has at least a few of those other things that you like?
I can put it in mid. I can't put it any higher than mid.
Yeah.
Because, man, this... Brad
I didn't
Pitt
recall
as
it to be that bad.
It's
But
aggravating.
I also barely recall it.
Well, the thing is that it's not bad, it's aggravating. Because a good movie is in there. But it gets muddled down by the fact that they're trying to be a 2000s movie. It's just... It's frustrating because, it has the visuals on the level of Prince of Egypt, but the humor of ants. And that's not a good combo. So yeah, it's firmly in mid. Okay, I'm gonna hear I don't know if there's arguments about this, but Wally's at least a great watch. I love Wall-E.
because I don't consider it my favorite or one of my favorites in the Pixar lineup of things, but it does have a good message, and I do appreciate it for what it tries to do with as little dialogue as possible. So
yeah, that's the thing. Wall-E's one of my favorite Pixar movies of all time. So if it was up to me, it would go in Millennium. But I will at least put it in Great Watch because I know some people are not as mystified by Wall-E as I am.
I have no idea who you might be referring to.
Maybe the person who can't sit through an entire Samurai Jack episode because they talk too little.
Maybe. Fun fact, I would argue that the first half of Wall-E is fantastic.
The part about the giant potato humans.
Yes, that is where it's the humans become so as characters. So yeah, basically when we reach the ship, the movie loses for me. And by our previous established approach, I have notes. But otherwise, it's still a fantastic movie. So I would say it fits very well in Great Watch.
I agree. I think that's fine. I like the humans. I like the captain especially. He was my favorite.
Yeah,
one.
he's a good
I don't want to survive. I want to live.
I want to live. But yeah, so yeah, I'll keep it in Great Watch. I disagree, but can't win everything.
Or what does Lauren
Okay, how about this one? This one should be...
Lauren already said Great Watch, so...
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to put it there.
I was going to say, I would put it into Great Watch as well, because I know everybody says, first 10 minutes. I'm like, yes, I know, and they are gorgeously done.
Yeah.
However...
He has a few more minutes after that.
I I mean, I would also put this in Millennium, personally. I think that this movie stays consistently good. I don't see people's arguments that the movie, like, drops a lot in quality after the first 10 minutes.
I think the one thing that always threw me off was how was the villain, like, how is he
alive? Lauren, I'm going to counteract that. Lauren, I'm going to counteract this with the man was able to float up his house with a bunch of balloons.
No, I'm talking about, like, the ages between them.
Yeah.
You have a child and a grown-ass man by the beginning of the movie, and then you have old man and even
your
older man.
Your suspension of disbelief ends there, like the balloon house.
The balloon house is fine.
The man probably just drank baby blood and ate dog meat. I don't know. Like, look, I don't know. The guy got into some weird exotic nonsense. It could be the Scrooge McDuck thing and he fell into some kind of wormhole for 20 years. I don't know.
Yeah.
Either way, he dies a very gruesome death.
As he should.
But
Lauren is showing her bloodthirst today.
But
look,
no,
he was an awful man who murdered many people. He should.
I personally think the film's really good. I love the relationship between Russell and the old man and Doug. I love Doug.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, like,
I have just met you, and I love you.
entire like revelation when he's like looking at the memory book that Ellie made, and then it's like, make your own.
I had my
adventures.
adventure. Now it's time for yours.
That made me cry more than the first 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Like I know people point out the first 10 minutes with finding out that she's infertile and it's sad is like really heart-wrenching. I think that is more heart-wrenching. She left a good message for him and he didn't find out until his life is basically over. Like, I'm just saying, like, it's just... I think Up is a fantastic movie, deserving of Best Picture a nomination that it got. It should have won. But I personally would put it up in Millennium Films. I don't really have notes for it. Maybe make the adventure guy younger. I don't know, that wouldn't make sense. Unless he was the grandson of the adventurer. But that's such a small
Then he would be too young.
Or the son.
Too old, no.
Maybe.
I mean, then again, how old is our protagonist actually supposed to be? Because I believe
like
he's
60 or 70?
Yeah, so...
Yeah.
This actually means, okay, he didn't do too well for his age. Being with 60 already being this immobile as he appears at the start of the movie when he has given up on life. But towards the end, when he rejuvenates, he also becomes a lot more agile. And well, okay, this still puts the old man in his 90s, but
I mean, it could be like a Captain Sunshine situation from Venture Brothers where the sidekick, like Wonder Boy, becomes Captain, like Batman. So, like, it could be that. Sorry, Kevin Conroy characters are on my brain today. But, like, I am fine with putting it in Great Watch, but I am saying that I think people are a bit too hard on this movie by saying that the only fantastic part is the first 10 minutes. I think there's a lot more fantastic than the film than people give it credit for.
I dare to say the first 10 minutes are just perfect, but the rest of the movie is still great. So I would not even argue with you about putting it into Millennium movies, because I personally, for example, prefer Up over Wall-E.
Well, what do you think, Lauren?
Are you a hater?
You drink
I'm not a hater. I'm not a hater, for God's sakes. I'm trying to look at this objectively.
That's what a hater would.
For God's sakes.
We are on the last 3 movies. You can't expect me to still hold the...
professionalism.
Exactly.
Whatever modicum of it that was there.
Exactly.
You know what? Actually, compared to Wall-E, I would consider it a less flawed film. So,
hooray! Yeah. I win. Chrissy wins. This is how it's supposed to be.
Wally hate once again saves the day.
Meanwhile, the other one that's coming up here absolutely goes into Millennium Tier for me.
Tangled, come on. Wait, Max, do you have arguments for why Tangled shouldn't be in here?
Oh, no. I actually was about to say, like, we are ending on an interesting note there, but okay, before that, Tangled.
Actually, you know what? We'll end it on a different note because I just saw. So, Max, go back to your drawing because the big kids are going to talk for a moment.
Why do you know that I haven't watched the SpongeBob? Then again, is this the first SpongeBob movie?
It is the
Yes.
first one.
I believe I might have seen it, but I also have no memory.
I want to know what context, because you grew up, you were past the time of SpongeBob, to my knowledge.
No, here's the thing. When SpongeBob was obviously not appropriate age, but it was like
that weird thing where stoners realized it was actually really funny.
I believe the friend who actually advertised it to me in college was not a stoner himself anymore. However, no, but he was like this kind of like, oh yeah, that is actually like funny. Like this was also the beginning of SpongeBob, and
where it is objectively very funny television.
Yeah, and therefore it kind of had a following among college-age people in Germany back then, even. And
it had a following of college-age people in America too, mainly
therefore,
people who really like Harold and Kumar. I found that.
Yeah, and therefore I can actually, I'm not 100% sure, but I have a vague memory that me and the gang actually saw it in cinema.
I am shocked, honestly. You actually saw it willingly. I didn't. 'Cause, like, I like the first few seasons of SpongeBob, but when the movie came out, it was right at that era where I was like, I think I'm done watching SpongeBob, but my little cousin, who is 5 years younger to me, so a baby, basically, wanted to go see it. So I was taken to go see it. I was pleasantly surprised. But point being, it's a good movie. Like, it's entertaining at least. I don't think it's mid. Like, for a TV show movie. Like, cause, you know, if I was given the choice of like, okay, you had to watch a movie based... You know what? This list sucks. It doesn't have the Simpsons movie on it. I just realized it doesn't have the Simpsons movie, because I was about to say, the only, like, TV to movie film I would have picked over SpongeBob would have been Simpsons. Because the Simpsons movie is perfect. But, like, God, fuck you, person who made this list. But it's a cute movie. It's a great like message of like, you know, you could have an inner child without being childish. Like, it's fine to still be a kid. Like, it's a movie that revels in like, it's, you know, it's for kids. Like, I rewatched it recently. There's still a lot of good about it. The Hasselhoff part is the funniest fucking thing in that movie.
Oh yeah.
And I rewatched it also because I watched the whole reanimated thing that people made of it, which is which I think is funnier than the actual movie, because, you know, it was remade from the ground up, so they re-recorded lines and everything. Saber Spark is in it for a cameo, which is brilliant.
Actually, yeah, but yeah, the more you talk about like with the Hasselhoff part and whatnot, I have seen it. I'm pretty sure.
Of course, the German has seen the thing with Hasselhoff in it.
Shush.
What? Are you saying that you haven't heard David Hasselhoff's cover of "More Than a Feeling"?
I mean, you showed it to me, therefore I have.
Oh yeah, I did. Never mind. But, look, I'm just saying, Hasselhoff is big in Germany. There's a whole fucking trope named after that. It's just a fact of life, Max. You guys have shitty anime openings and like Hasselhoff. That is your country's defining features. You could have worse. I mean, you do have worse, but I can't
Meanwhile,
say,
we're at the final stretch here.
I can't say much as an American, but yeah, I think it's, I have notes, but I think it's perfectly fitting and haha entertaining.
Yeah, I agree.
Anyways, back to Tangled.
Oh, I love Tangled so much.
Tangled is great. It's a movie that suffered in marketing because they were marketing it like a DreamWorks movie when it's very much not. But I love Tangled. I love Eugene. Eugene's my favorite Disney prince, bar none. I love him to bits. And I love Rapunzel. Like, every character is likable in this movie. Mother Gothel is a terrifying villain. I mean, we put her in Disney Legend. I think she was the most modern villain in that category.
Yeah.
And may I point out, both the princess's parents are still alive.
Yes. And the scene, like the lantern lighting scene. Because remember, the parents don't talk at all in the movie. That scene where they're lighting it and the queen is like holding the king's face, you could feel that heartbreak. Like that scene hurts. Like, there's just so much in that movie that just hurts. That line of "You were my adventure," like
you were my new dream.
You were my new dream. Ah, why is he the perfect man? Why is he played by
Technically,
Zach?
it's because
he's played by
Shazam. They asked to just.
Sorry, I love Eugene. I'm trash.
Yeah, it's also, he was modeled and designed with, like, literally asking all the women at Disney, like, what do you think is what makes the perfect man?
And it was either this or Jack Black. Both are perfect men.
Yep.
But, like, yeah, there would have been a timeline where Eugene was played by Jack Black. I still think Jack Black can play a Disney prince. Make it happen.
Oh, absolutely.
Voice actors can be old. But it's not a rant if I love him, Charlie. But yeah, I have no notes. The movie looks gorgeous. I think, like, there was nothing bad. The music's good. They made a really good TV show that had an ending. I need to rewatch the last part of the Tangled show because I feel like
excellent continuation of the story.
Maybe I was too hard on the end of the Tangled show. I don't think I was, but some people think I am towards evil Cassandra, which is bullshit. But you know, Tangled is great. I love Tangled. So, yeah, I think with that is our full list of the 2000s. Yep. At least of what this person arbitrarily put on the list. Yeah. So, maybe the first video, maybe the first 3 idiots of the New Year's is me making the list. All the films that got forgotten. But yeah, so in Shouldn't Exist, we have Shrek the Third and Open Season 2. Both sequels. Then in Meh, we got Barnyard, Ice Age, and Over the Hedge. Home on the Range, 2 Cows. Then in Mid, we have Open Season, Shark Tale, Monsters vs. Aliens, Where It Belongs, Horton Hears a Who, and Sinbad. Then in Haha Entertaining, used to be Haha Funny, but there were some protests. We have Cars, Madagascar, B-Movie, Shrek Forever After. I wanted to say Shrek the Third because this person put the 3D poster. Surf's Up, Ice Age 1, Ice Age 3, and Meet the Robinsons and the SpongeBob SquarePants movie. Then in Great Watch, we got Flushed Away, Fantasia 2000, Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, Madagascar 2, Shrek 1, Toy Story 3, Robots, Road to El Dorado, Despicable Me, and WALL-E. That gag wasn't towards Road to El Dorado. That's just my
I know. It was just it was just the timing was funny.
Do you want to tell us something? I mean, you spoke positive about the movie before, but are there any lingering resentments?
I have lingering resentments.
Be angry all you want, people. I'm sorry Treasure Planet wasn't in this list. We didn't make the list.
We did. For once, I didn't make the list. I was sick. We had to go low effort. I'm sorry. We'll fix this sometime in 2023, okay? Okay, and then in the top echelon of 2000s films that are on this list, we have Atlantis, Spirit, Stallion of the Cinnamon, Bolt. I'm never gonna say the correct thing. You should know this. Okay, So Spirit, Stallion of the Cardamom, Bolt, Shrek 2, How to Train Your Dragon, Princess and the Frog, Megamind, Over the Hedge, Emperor's New Groove, Lilo and Stitch, Monsters Inc., Incredibles, Ratatouille, Kung Fu Panda, Up, and Tangled. Wow, DreamWorks took up a lot of the top.
Yeah. May I also just point out that in the very beginning of this video, when we started, the list had a little bit of a leaning towards the weaker ones in the beginning, and we were like, oh, the 2000s were really not a great era, now were they? Now look at this, how it's like, literally,
I said
the higher we go, the
2002
more...
wasn't good. I didn't say all the 2000s.
Which is a tenth of the 2000s.
Yeah, so a tenth of the 2000s wasn't good. But look, the 2000s, like the GameCube and Dreamcast and most of that era, was a very experimental time. It was a time where things were trying something new, something more contemporary, and finding their flavors. And that is very indicative with this list. Some fail, and some succeed.
Mm-hmm.
I can't imagine a time where something like Atlantis and Incredibles and Ratatouille could exist in the same decade than the 2000s. Because I feel like the 2010s also had some experimentation, but I feel like we've reached, everything comes in waves and ebbs. I feel like the 2000s was this big wave in just throwing stuff at the wall. And then sometime in the 2010s, it kind of homogenized. And now we're starting to get back to trying new things, but it's a fight upwards to get there because there's higher ups that don't like experimentation, but the grassroots of it is getting bigger. And it's just in different places. Like, we're getting more of the experimentation in the world of TV animation than film animation. But I think this is a solid list. I don't have notes, so this list itself is in Millennium Films. And you know what? I think that both of you are in the S tier.
Aww. So are you. Join us.
I mean...
Nope. I'm not. That wasn't a suggestion. That was a command.
I think I'm at least haha entertaining.
No.
All right.
You're haha entertaining plus S tier.
That makes you double. Up here now.
Yay!
Yay!
But man, guys, we made it through a whole year of Three Idiots. I mean, we started Three Idiots in 2021, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
So this is 2 years of Three Idiots, basically. How do you guys feel?
Nice. I feel good.
I'm glad you do.
Are you gonna say anything next?
I said old.
No, you didn't. It didn't come out. Your mic did not want to pick up on you being ageist.
Okay. Yeah, but no. You asked how do you feel, and my answer was old.
Well, I want to thank.
I feel great about it. I think we've done a lot since we started, and I look forward to more. So
yes, I can't wait to see what other mega corporation faces Three Idiots is scrutinizing next year. And, audience, if you have ideas for us of what we should do or things, tell us, I'm always open to ideas. If you have tier lists you want us to do, battle brackets you want us to try, all that kind of stuff. Just let me know. I have a Discord server, which Odie will probably plug soon. Go into Max's Discord server and be very rude about it. I encourage that.
What?
Lauren doesn't have a Discord server, but go follow her on things. But yes,
as long as the stuff isn't on fire, just keep following it.
in real talk, I am so happy that I have this show that I get to do with my two favorite people in the world every month. That is the only reason that I decided, hey, even though I'm sick, I am going to do this show, because if I didn't do it, then we wouldn't have Three Idiots till 2023, and I want to end this on a great note, which is always doing these wacky things. So thank you, Lauren and Max, for being my two favorite idiots.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be mushy. You guys are gonna have to face that.
You are pretty idiotic yourself.
Oh, that's the nicest thing you've ever said to me. And I mean,
know, right?
I mean, actually, like, not. No, audience, I can assure you, Max secretly is actually a big sweetheart and has actually said nice things. I'm ruining your image. But yes, everyone, thank you for joining for the last 3 idiots of 2022. Let me ask before we head off, what was your guys' favorite 3 idiots episode of the year? There was only like 10, so easy to pick.
Let's bring up the playlist. By the way, you need the 3 Idiots playlist on your channel.
I do need to do that.
I mean, you basically can copy mine.
Yay!
The himbo tier list was a fun one.
Oh yeah, that one was fun. I think the villain one went really well. Like the villain tier list was it was long, but it was a lot of fun.
Summer.
Yeah.
Summer D is always fun, but it also comes with like, it's only Lauren versus me because somebody has to write the entire show.
I am the host. I mean, I have a bias towards Summer D because I'm always proud of myself for how I fuck you two over.
True, and how I every single time come in as the reigning champion, manage to be incompetently stumble my way down to the underdog to then actually win in the end.
Yeah, I mean, the best part about Summer D is you getting the best part about Summer D is just you getting upset because once Lauren starts to figure out the answer, you're like, wait, I know damn it. Because that's the thing, you both speak like Chrissy Ease, but it kicks in at different times. I think my favorite moment for Free Idiots though was that I had a member part of Bad Summer D, which was like Chrissy's like boy toys or whatever, and you found out that I liked the medic from TF2 and you were so genuinely shocked. Which you shouldn't be. He's an asshole German crazy person. Of course I like him. I don't know where the surprise came from there.
Let's guess.
But yeah, I think my favorite 3 idiots is either of this year was probably like Disney battle brackets or the Disney villain tier list. Disney provides good content for us to eat up. But yeah, Lords was himbos. What about I mean, you did say Summer D, but do you have a
Summer D, but I also like the epicness of the Disney tier list in 3 parts.
Oh yeah, the battle brackets are insane. I don't know what we could do for the next battle brackets. Maybe Cartoon Network shows or something. I don't know. Someone has to give us a good suggestion.
That's the problem. I mean, we went through the big franchises, and we now have the thing like, if you go for Cartoon Network
or
shows,
we could do a Disney villain battle bracket. Like, if we already ranked them, but putting the villains against each other. I mean, we have the MCU one that people do not want us to do. But, that's all for 2023, Max, Lauren, and Chrissy. Till then, everyone, c'est la vie. Have a happy Thanksgiving, a Merry Christmas, or Hanukkah.
Happy holidays.
A happy holidays and a happy New Year. And we'll see you all the next time we're idiotic. But don't worry, we can assure you, we're going to be idiots throughout the next 2 months. You just won't see it.